for adult themes and strong language. This is the Curse of Penance RPG.
Welcome to episode 6 of the Curse of Penance RPG. Who are you and what is your favourite insect? Starting with Belry.
Sorry, you're throwing us with the favourite insect, Christ. It's so hard you knocked us out of character. Well, howdy there. My name is Karen Lebowski. I am finding myself lost in this absolute hellhole of a country. But I, as a regular country belle, am finding myself adapted quite well. And I jingle my pockets full of that man's jewellery was stole. My favourite insect is probably the bombardier beetle, because they have an interesting chemical reaction. That one very Forrest Gump. Because they spray chemicals at you and that's cool.
My favourite insect is Mick Florentino.
Mick Florentino.
He's a worm.
He was no insect.
No.
Well, that was Dennis.
Oh, yeah.
Dennis was a worm.
Also, worms are not insects.
Well, shut up.
No, you.
I'm very excited for the fan art of all of Karen's lovers.
Oh,
Just
God.
The Florentino family.
It'd be like the cover of Sgt. Pepper's.
Well, there was Meg as well when she had her phase, who was a carny apparently, according to my character sheet.
Anyway, Amy.
Hi, I'm Amy. I play Meg, and every week I have to go behind Karen, and I fail dramatically. She's a human rogue, and I'm well known now for punching a priest and not taking much bullshit. And my favourite insect would be... I don't really like bugs. Why did you have to pick bugs? We'll go spiders.
They're not insects.
I don't like spiders even. But Meg, I suppose, will like spiders. Creepy crawlies. Yeah.
Okay. AJ.
Hey, I'm AJ. I'm playing Ozmand, a tiefling who's really pretty happy about the jacket he managed to acquire last time. And my favourite insect, I guess, is probably a dragonfly.
Fair enough.
Is that because it's half dragon?
I don't know, they're just kind of colourful and neat.
That's the purest thing we've ever had on this podcast.
I'm trying to raise
I
the
hope
mood.
you've all enjoyed growing as a person this evening.
You also used to get giant, bigger than men-sized dragonflies in dinosaur times.
True. It's more oxygen, yeah?
Yeah, but you got bigger spiders for the same reason.
But if there's enough oxygen, they can breathe properly and they can get huge. So basically, global warming is good because less oxygen means smaller spiders. There you go, there's the takeaway for today.
Lexa.
Hi, I'm Lexa. I'm playing Rosie, the human fighter, and my favourite insect is a praying mantis.
Ah.
One, so they want to have a fight all the time with their arms like this. I think they're odd, but they're really small.
Fair enough. And Matt.
Hello, my name is Tubbs. I am the wizard without a staff and recovering pastryholic. I'm a well-known necro carpenter, and my favourite animal is the jewel wasp, because just like me, they give meaningless cockroaches a new lease of life.
Are you saying we're some kind of cockroach?
Not you guys.
Are they the ones that bury their eggs deep into cockroaches?
So yeah, they inject their brains with some mind-controlling shit, and then the cockroach follows their pheromone trail back to their nest where they lay the eggs in them, and then the babies eat out from the outside. I'm not suggesting I want to lay my young in people and then have them eat people from the outside. It was just the most necromantic bug I could find, and I'm very much about character.
Right. Okay. So what happened last week?
Previously on the Curse of Penance RPG.
We no longer had a windmill, so we just raided the guy's house and killed his son.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Technically, the son killed himself.
Okay, sorry, we killed the person we were meant to find by squashing them into a pile of lead.
Yeah, we stole a barrel of tea and some jewellery, though.
Yes!
And we've got some cool lead-making bombs and means to make some more.
Oh
and
yeah,
I got
we
my
got the
cool
alchemy.
embroidered waistcoat that says the Ozmand.
Yeah, you do.
So basically, a small child was killed in an unfortunate accident, and we took advantage of this by raiding all his shit.
You say small child, he's like 16? Something like that?
Yeah, I was imagining like a kind of pasty teenager.
Yeah, but he had like turned people into
Perfect
lead and stuff, and
He had so
killed
much
people.
to live
So
for.
Hey,
yeah,
it's
but
tough
he
to have a
killed
hobby.
people. What? Turning innocent people into lead?
It's a hobby.
When you think about it, like, statues is technically a type of furniture.
Yeah.
I'm sure Tub felt a bit of kindred spirit there.
I mean, it's not quite-
Tubbs.
It's very loose necroculture. It's not got the skill that Tubbs has. But yeah, he appreciates a practitioner.
It's like necrometallurgy.
No.
Also, we had to leave town because the cop guy was onto us. So we're following a queen.
Oh yeah, we're in a carriage with some important woman from another city.
Yeah, she let out a duchess or a countess.
Having checked that she's actually a baroness, not a queen, but fuck
Oh.
it, I've just called her queen last week, so
Oh yeah, because we originally went to nick a dress.
That's it. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah,
That's
for her,
why
yeah.
you went in the house.
Wait, if we're in her carriage, we'd better not be leaving the mystery wagon.
No,
you're
that's
taking
what
the
I'm
mystery
behind.
wagon with you.
Along with Shania, yeah.
The guy with the clockwork arm and the body issues was creepy
Yeah,
as
he-
fuck.
Yeah, he was on the hunt for the people and we lied to him.
And also on the hunt for her.
Yeah, he was getting a bit fresh with Shania, and she wasn't down for that.
She wasn't impressed with it much.
Yeah, we didn't take a wedding dress. We took like a random dress, didn't we?
Yeah.
It was a wedding dress.
Oh my god.
Okay.
It says none of you asked if it was a wedding dress, so I didn't tell any of you.
Do you know what? Considering we never asked what kind of dress she wanted, it's really good luck that we managed to steal exactly the kind of dress that she wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're lucky
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
In hindsight, he did say that it was you find the dress. He didn't actually say me.
Yeah.
Did we say yes to the dress?
Yeah, we just said yes to the dress.
No, you bought the horse with no name, which
Yeah,
the poll
but
for
make it be a
Twitter will
twit.
go up after the next episode to name the horse.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
Does that mean we have to record 4 bits every time we refer to the horse,
No.
each time referring to by its new name?
Oh, we just call him Horse for the moment.
Prince.
Because that's what he is.
Yeah, he's like Prince.
call him Quick Draw McGraw for now. So
Okay.
for the moment he's called Ben. He might change his name over the next week, depending on what people think. For all I know, no one will respond to the Twitter poll and we'll end up calling him Enrique.
I mean, actually, it's too late now to urge people to vote for Enrique, isn't it, really?
Depending who wins, we'll know by next week.
Oh yeah, the furry! We've rescued a furry.
Oh my god,
yeah.
I forgot about him.
Right, as we discussed like 2 days ago, I am a degenerate, but I'm not a furry.
Some people are furries, and that's okay.
There's a line in the sand, and you know that's your one.
It's not,
I
it's not my
was-
jam.
No, it's not my steez. I'm
Cool.
going to offend like a very small percentage of our listener base, I'm sure.
So
You
far,
do
we've
know
been
that
talking
Andrea
about
Dina's
furry.
one, right?
You sure?
I think so.
I'll be
Who's a-
down.
Who's a furry?
Someone on our normal podcast.
Ah.
I'm pretty sure she said she was at one point.
Oh, to be fair, I don't really care. It's just I like doing funny voice. Honestly, I just like doing funny voices.
I've got a line in the sand. Oh, I don't really care.
Just because I'm not into it doesn't mean like I disagree with it. God.
Right. People can bone whoever they want. Let's go.
Yeah, stick what you want where you want.
As long as it's legal and consensual.
Yep.
Yes.
Moving on from all
This
of that.
episode sponsored by Don't Be Silly. Wrap Your Willy.
Anyway, you left Vallaki last week on your cart, being followed by Isaac. So, your cart journeys from Vallaki to Krezk, arrives the next day. You did encounter a couple of wolves following you, but nothing seemed to attack you in your mystery machine.
It's because we let that guy go.
So, you arrive in Krezk, and the Baroness, not Queen, because I should have called her Baroness, but fuck it, I got the name wrong last week. The Baroness tells you to come with her and she will introduce you to her husband. So, you arrive at a very humble looking house. It's slightly bigger than the rest, but not noticeably much bigger than the rest of the houses in Krezk. and a middle-aged looking man greets you, and he tells you that he is the Baron of this land. What do you do?
So I am in my sort of head mapping out all the valuables in the house.
You're not in the house yet, you're outside the house.
Oh.
I give him a nod and throw up the horns. Not like the horns on my head.
Yeah, I was confused for a minute.
On your way in, you did notice that there are several, like, armour and blacksmith places here in this town.
I'm going to step forward and shake his hand and notice the blacksmith stuff and say, there's an awful lot of blacksmithing around here.
He tells you that his guards are actually going to defend the town, unlike Valaki, who doesn't seem to care.
Well, I mean, if you've got an issue that needs investigating, CSI Barovia, pleasure to make your acquaintance. I am Detective Tubbs.
Is it not Senior Detective Tubbs?
No. That comes later.
Special Agent Tubbs.
Oh, shit, should have said that. Oh.
He notices you've got the dress, and he tells you that he needs you to take the dress up to the abbot who lives in the big abbey that's sort of high in over the city. Up a winding road at the back of town, you see this huge, like, old-looking abbey, and he just tells you that he'd like you to take the dress up there.
Are you sure? I mean, full disclosure, we've met 2 priests so far, and we killed one of their sons and the other one died.
Shush!
Tubbs is an honest man.
He tells you that he owes the abbot because he's had several sons, and his sons keep dying at a certain age, and it's some genetic condition. But the abbot came down to the town about 3 weeks ago and managed to cure his son, and his son has made a full recovery and has not in fact died. So he does owe the abbot, and when he asked the abbot what he wanted, the only thing the abbot asked for is this dress.
I'm not here to judge the abbot, whatever gets his congregation turning up, if you know what I mean.
I thought the dress was for the leader here.
Yeah, I thought that was her wedding dress.
No, me and my wife have been married for 20, 30 years now.
And what would you say is the secret to a long, successful marriage?
He sort of looks at her and she grins and blushes and looks away, and he just goes, oh, the usual stuff.
Organ.
Alright.
I see him. What is the usual stuff in detail?
Plenty of squeeze box.
Meg takes out the squeeze box. There's a little tune, puts a pick.
Everyone sort of rejoices in the squeeze box. He tells you that if you need anything in town to help yourselves, and he sort of gestures towards there's a couple of small shops, like workshops and such like, and there's also a very large lake with a statue, and he just asks if you could take the dress up whenever you feel ready. As he goes to sort of gesture his wife inside, he stops, turns around and says, oh, one other thing, the abbot does have a couple of strange guards. He sort of points at Tubbs and says, they're about your height, but they're, dog-like, would you say? And he sort of, he kind of looks at you as if he's not sure how else to describe them and says, well, they can't really speak, and they're quite skittish, but they're just guards. They won't attack you unless you attack them.
So we got some guard dogs? Like a couple pit bulls?
No, they're kind of people, but they look like dogs.
They're dogs that think they're people?
He shrugs at you and says that the rest of the village is terrified to go up to the abbey because we keep hearing screams.
Well, now, we can't help our Ozmand. Not everyone is blessed with good looks and standing like myself.
Can I roll to suppress a snicker, please?
Yep.
Is that etiquette? Oh, that's a 1. Tubbs is just pissing himself at the back.
You can go. And Karen turns round and gives you a death glare.
I look down at the floor like I'm pointing at something really funny on the floor. Like, oh, a strange bug.
It's a bombardier beetle, actually, that on the floor.
Just gonna tap Tubbs, like slap him on the back and go, done.
So, what are you going to do now?
Let's go, gang.
Can I just clarify one thing with you, your Baroness?
Yes.
When you say help ourselves, do you mean buy things from the shop, or do you mean walk in and be like, hey, the Baron said we can have all of your shit?
Well, I don't really have much money to go around, but they do take a barter economy if you have anything to trade.
We have Karen, and I hear she is very effective.
How about one of them promissory notes? I've had trouble in the past just taking stuff.
One of those what?
A promissory note.
A promissory.
Like an IOU?
Yes.
I think you'll have to ask them. I've never really been known to take IOUs.
Right, what do we have to trade, gang? We got a painting.
Painting of Timothy. I won't let you sell it.
We got a horse.
I stumbled recently on about 3 pockets full of jewelry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if we not got like 50 gold as well.
You've got a fair whack of gold, fair whack of jewellery.
I mean, I don't have any gold anymore, but I have got a cool stick that I'm beginning to believe might not be magic.
Well, does
Just
it
get it.
have a knob on the end? Because that's how you know it's a wizard staff.
It's got a star on the end.
It's not a knob.
And Karen would know.
So,
Yes.
So you're in the current town at the moment, and there's
Maybe
lots of
we
shops that sell like armour and weapons and stuff.
Yeah, I'd like to get some decent armor because right now the only getup we've got are like basic peasant clothes. So I
Yeah.
like at least some like leather armor at least.
Makeover, 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 makeover.
Tubbs,
We
you want
like
to
it.
Time.
Tubbs, shall we go personal shopping?
I think we should. Let's go.
Shopping episode.
So you take each
Shopping.
other arm in arm, and you sort of walk forward abreast along the street, standing
skip.
across each other's legs.
Skip, thank you.
Oh, sorry, skipping 4 arm in arm. So 4 of you.
Meg
Fine.
doesn't skip.
See the blacksmith.
Can we have like a montage where Karen comes out of a dressing room in like a leopard print romper suit and like everyone just shakes the head
No.
and she goes back into the changing room?
Then comes back and exactly the same thing, but she's
Yeah.
got like a necklace on.
Yeah. And then everyone nods.
Oh, God.
Thumbs up.
So you go to the blacksmith and the armor vendors. Between them all, they sort of sell wolf-hide armor, which seems to be like a sort of basic leather armor that would cover like, you know, chest and legs kind of thing.
I don't think they like wolves around here, chaps.
Well, there's a lot of wolves and they can kill them really easily.
What's the other armor?
The other armor is just very plain, basic hide armor, but again, when they ask about it, they tell you that it's made from wolves.
I would posit that if they like killing wolves because they can catch them and kill them easily, maybe wolf-hide isn't our jam.
Is the wolf hide fluffy by any chance? Has
On
it
the
got like a
shoulders,
fluffy
yes,
trim?
the rest of the place, no.
Meg's
Yeah.
totally taking
Do
that
they
one.
gonna say-
have a cape made of wolf fur?
They tell you that they can give you one if you want it, but it would cost you.
Much.
All of you wanting armor.
Well, Tubbs is a necromancer, so he'll probably want some robe.
I don't want to cover up my waistcoat.
You could always wear that over your armor.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say, can I
sure.
like put the waistcoat on over the leather?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
if you all kind of want armor apart from Tubbs, then they will take 2 pockets full of jewellery for them.
I don't really want to cover up at all. Because Karen's classy like that. Do you think I can get them to do like a custom job?
What do you want your
Xena
custom
Warrior
job then, Karen?
Princess. Like a Xena Warrior Princess.
I feel like
skirt.
it should have like lots of fur accents. Because I feel like Karen's probably heard that's pretty fancy somewhere.
They will give
What, like
you.
Cruella de Vil?
Yes.
They will give
But it's
all of
also a
you.
crop top.
They will give all of you except Tubbs armor, and they will even give Rosie her cape and Karen her incredibly stylized fur, like tinted armor. But it will cost you all 3 handfuls of jewellery.
Can I get a cape as well with a furry hood? I like furry things. I like furry hoods.
Oh,
They
I can
they
start.
sort of look a little bit. Roll and see if they accept it.
Okay. Oh no,
That's
that's
one. They kind of look and say, no, you need to put some gold on top as well.
How much gold?
They say they'll do it for another 10 gold on top of it.
5,
7.
6.
Can Tubbs help by talking very loudly to Rosie about the shop they managed to shut down in the previous town with their investigations?
Oh,
Roll to see
God.
how this affects them.
Some
They
15.
seem kind of like, okay, let's get rid of you, and they nod at 5 and just push it over the table to you.
With thugs.
Thanks, Stubbs. Thanks, Stubbs.
No, probably like a CSI Brovia kind of way.
So you now all have basic leather armor. It's
Cool.
significantly more warm than what you had.
Yay!
Ooh, I put my
And,
waistcoat over the top of it.
Ozmand has his Ozmand waistcoat over the top of it. Rosie and Meg both have cloaks with fur hoods. And Tubbs is standing there in a black robe
With a butler suit on underneath it.
with a butler suit on underneath.
I'm imagining.
Forgot about the butler set.
Tubbs is a master of disguise. 1 minute he's a necromancer, the next minute he's a butler.
You've got Inspector Gadget over there.
As long as he only needs to be one of those 2 things, he's fine. I
So-
would love to be a guard, but unfortunately I haven't got the costume.
I feel like I've commissioned something that's something between like a Cruella de Vil outfit, but also a crop top and mini skirt.
Yeah.
Early Britney.
You look
meets
somewhere
Cruella.
between Cruella de Vil and something that's escaped the bowels of Sailor Moon.
That is an unfortunate description.
Now, how are we all doing for weapons? I've got my candlestick.
I've got my bread knife and also my ceremonial dagger.
I've got my ceremonial daggers.
I think everyone apart from Tubbs has an actual weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
What's
have
that
my
one?
bloody beat stick.
Oh yeah. So Rosie's got a crossbow and a sword.
And a
Spear.
spear.
A spear. Can we
Happy to
find
share.
somewhere I can buy an actual magic wand? Or just some magic? I need some magic in my life. It's been a while. And I'm starting to feel like I'm losing my touch.
Okay. There is
Do you
one
have
shop
them?
that seems to sell something like that. Roll to see if you find anything you like.
Oh my
want
god.
that twist.
Oh no.
You look through everything, there's nothing you like.
Aww.
Everything's just a bit too big, it's like trying to wield a snooker cue, you just can't do it.
Aww.
Yeah, I was just about to say as well.
Can I
Tubbs is
comfort Tubbs in the corner?
Please no.
What was that a roll for?
It's-
Helping Tubbs.
Oh, Rosie did it.
something.
Okay. You do
So-
find a very tiny staff that would fit Tubbs.
So I'm about to leave very dejectedly. And she's like, "Hey, look what I found!"
Hey,
What I found!
Tubbs, stop!
But
You
Karen
find
said she'd
a-
comfort me in the corner.
You find a very small staff. The guy tells you that it's a child's, like, very early mage staff. And it can do fireball, but that's about all it can do.
It's an apprentice one.
There's like a really recurring theme of terrible, terrible parenting. I feel like children shouldn't be given access to Fireball.
Alright, okay, I've got this excellent wand I just bought, and I'm gonna put my wand down on the counter. What can I have for that in part exchange?
Roll to see if you can convince him it's magical.
That is my fourth one of the night.
God.
He picks it up, turns it around, laughs, and puts it back down and says, "No, come on, what's your real offer?"
Well, I paid good money for that, have you know?
He
Well,
looks at you and says, "You paid good money for this."
I did. How much do you want for the staff?
Oh, 100 gold.
I don't have 100 gold.
Excuse
but
me,
I've got-
sir. Actually custom made from a really rare shop. So it's actually worth a lot of money. It's handmade.
Yeah, it's CP and pay a word.
He sort of looks at it, flips over his hand, puts it back and says, "No, it's like pantomime. There's no
Oh, no,
magic
it
in it
isn't.
at all." And if he paid good money for this, that staff's going to cost him 100 gold.
Okay, did we ever go through that bag of holding that was in the cart?
No, you
Yeah.
didn't.
I'll be back in a minute. Can I go and have a rummage and try and find something to part X?
We should get him addicted to dream pastries, and then we can like offer him one dream pastry,
I mean,
and then
we
watch
don't-
his business crumble and life fall apart as he falls to addiction.
a worst
No
case
source to get
scenario,
them anymore.
we have got those lead bombs. They gotta be worth something, right?
We've got Timothy
Wait.
as well.
The lead bombs went in an entirely different direction than when trading them, is what I was thinking.
Yeah.
You
I don't wanna
show him
kill
one of the
anyone.
lead bombs, he looks at his hand and says, "Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, I'll take one of these."
Cool, deal. I'm gonna give it to him.
Okay, he takes the lead bomb off you, and he gives you your staff.
Huzzah!
So you can have
I
a
got
staff that
fireball
does 1d8 fireball.
Woo!
I'm keeping an eye out for any guitars.
Oh yeah, because you didn't pick up your order.
Well, no, I didn't pay for it either, though, so...
Oh.
Was it ever his? There's the great philosophical question of the age.
It's true.
Just
It's like
some
cancelling a
guy,
pre-order.
guy sitting there, like he's poured his life and soul into this.
I made him this guitar!
Where's it gone?
I can't remember who I ordered it from, to be perfectly honest.
Don't remember either.
So I'm keeping a lookout for any in these shops while we're wandering around.
Okay.
How cool does Tubbs' staff look? Is it very?
It's very fancy.
Is it like fancy in that kind of like crappy gaudy way, like if you press the button you expect it's like play a little jingly tune, like the kids?
If you hold it the right way and you focus, you can make the top light up.
Ah, shit.
What colour does it glow?
It glows a kind of like very soft orangey.
Oh, that's quite pleasant.
Right, I'm happy, I've got my staff.
When we're like having a bit of a rest after a hard day detectoring, we can just stick it on the wall and turn the light on and just pretend we have a nice warm fire.
I could make us a nice warm fire in our lovely caravan.
I would advise against that, Tubbs.
Yeah, maybe not inside the caravan. Just in
Oh.
case. Have a
I
bit
was
of practice
imagining-
first.
I was imagining more like, when it's Christmas and like there's that channel that's just this is the fireplace
Yeah.
channel.
I
That's
love
like
that
Cat
channel.
TV. Just don't watch that.
I love that channel.
What, Cat TV?
Yeah.
It's when they lower them in baskets and you're just like, what the fuck is this?
It puts the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again.
I was just about to say.
Yeah, is there a music shop in town?
There is not a music shop in town.
Is there a busker
shame.
playing a guitar we can kill?
No.
What if we hold auditions for a theatre and like we need a musician and then we just turn him over?
No.
We're starting a band and we need a guitarist. Apply within, and then we put
We
that sign
need
on
a
our
guy to
wagon.
follow us around and play the CSI Barovia theme song.
Oh, it's like, oh man, yeah, you guys had a typo on your leaflet. It said needed a guitar, not guitarist.
Yeah.
You put a sign up outside the car as you go off to do the rest of things, and we'll see if anything comes of it later. Cool.
Claps her hands like, yes.
We had a mini arc where we had an intervention for Tubbs.
We
I
did.
wouldn't be surprised if we have an audition arc.
So, as you are sort of meandering around town putting up your guitarist wanted signs, you notice that Shania's become quite obsessed by the statue.
Oh yeah, there's other stuff in the town. Hey, Twain, what's that?
You actually just calling her Twain now.
Yeah, that's her nickname. Because we're so dedicated to her, we'll cut our enemies in twain.
She just sort of seems to be quite lost and distracted by the statue. It's like a very old grey stone statue, and it seems to stand looking towards the lake with its hands outstretched.
Hey, Shania, what's going on with the statue there? I mean, it's a fine bit of art, but you seem distracted.
She just seems to be very, like, lost in her thoughts.
Busy pokes her. Poke, poke, poke.
She doesn't take well to being poked, but sort of just asks you, do you not see the beauty of the statue? And she just sort of runs her hand gently across the face.
Rosie has to look at it.
I want to pose myself in the same pose as the statue and stand right next to it and be like, hey guys, check me out, I'm a statue guy.
Roll to see how Shania responds to your statue guy.
I'm on natural 20.
She is quite dismissive of you and says, but you don't have this rugged good looks of this. She strokes the statue's face again.
I mean, eye of the beholder and all that.
I mean, who's it a statue of?
She sort of blinks and then looks around as if she can't find a name on the statue. It seems to have been long since lost.
Are there any passes by?
A couple, when you ask them about the statue, they just tell you that that's been there for generations. They don't know anything about it.
Well, gang, it looks like we got a mystery to solve.
I mean, we get it, Shania. You're a racist. You don't like my horns. That's fine. There's no need to make me feel bad.
They don't impress her much.
Hey, there's the one.
That's all, folks.
I'm wondering, I feel like Shania has a very short lifespan now that we've turned her into a joke.
Just a little bit.
Maybe we should go and do this chore we said we'd do, because he might give us some money.
Yeah, we should do that.
Also, do you guys think that this is that Pokemon episode where they fell in love with the statue and it was a ghost of someone whose lover was gone?
Maybe. I don't know what the Pokemon is, but that sounds feasible.
That would make me so happy.
You know, I've not watched Pokemon in a long time, but everything I hear, it makes it sound more and more fucked up.
Although, canonically, Tubbs has a favourite Pokemon, so he must have had a Pokemon.
I'm gonna let you all into a secret. You know the Pokemon movie?
Yeah.
Which one?
The Pokemon.
Yeah, the first one. The first one.
I may have cried at the original Pokemon movie.
Oh, mate, if you didn't cry at the original Pokemon movie, you had no heart.
I cried as well.
That makes me feel better because my family's been making fun of us about it for
You
probably
watched it
about
with your family?
20 years. I was about 7.
Right.
I can raise you one more awkward thing. Me and my fiance were sat there as I finished Final Fantasy 15, and both of us teared up a little bit.
See, kids these days watch Pokemon movie and get sad. Kids of my age watch The Brave Little Toaster and are now in fucking therapy.
I did actually see the Brave Little Toaster as a kid, actually.
If you've not
Also,
seen it, don't.
I have
No.
I saw it as a kid. It was,
You'll never be happy again.
It's one of those films that basically even has a song that it doesn't matter what you do, you become worthless later in life.
well, it's true.
Doesn't matter what you achieve, doesn't matter what you do, you're worthless.
And that's
Right.
the song that I've lived my life by.
Yep.
Shall we go and see this Abbott then? And hey, Rosie, I mean Meg, don't punch him. I can't remember which one of you punched a priest. No one punched a priest.
Tubbs,
Can I kick him?
Yes.
don't roll your mouth off. Just shut up.
I don't know what you mean. I have only accidentally killed one person on this adventure,
I'm pretty sure you've killed at least 2 people.
It
but
was
one of them
two,
probably
wasn't
wasn't accidental.
I suppose.
Yeah, I was about to say that too.
it? Come on, you guys.
Right.
Yeah, game
Okay. As you
Let's
begin
go.
to head towards the back of the city, you notice it's like there's a small graveyard and there's people who are like crying and seem to be digging up graves.
Oh, these might be my kind of people.
Do you want to
I'm
talk to
gonna-
them?
Yeah, I'm gonna approach them. Friends, are you preparing them for farm work?
They tell you through like very red eyes, no, they tell you that the bodies they have buried in this graveyard have been taken.
Oh,
Oh.
my god.
The coffins have been replaced and they've been empty.
Someone
It's
beat us
awful.
to it. Nudges.
Like, they changed the coffin? What? They replaced it like a new coffin?
No, the coffin's the same as it was, but the body that was within is no longer there.
Ah, I see. Maybe they weren't dead. And
They look at you with like very like for fuck's sake eyes.
I feel like we're not being as comforting as we feel like we're being.
What you need to do is you need to have a little string that goes in the coffin attached by a bell. That way, if anyone is buried alive, you know.
Is that not a South African tradition? So
It's,
South
an
American
old,
tradition.
it's a very old English tradition, actually. From when
It was a
people
South
would-
African tradition, and it was fear of death, and it was like they could ring the bell if they got buried, but the joke was the kids would go around cutting the strings.
Oh god, that's fucked. But no, in Victorian Britain, people like really scared about being buried alive for some reason, so they were just like, we'll put bells, have a bell.
You know, as I said, I thought that was South American or
The people cutting with the bell strings is where we get the phrase bell end from, because they would cut the end of the bell off and it was a bad thing to do. So they called them bell ends. 'cause
Is
they're
that true?
I feel like you're making that up.
I'm pretty sure it's because if you look at the tip of a penis, it's vaguely bell-shaped, so it's kind of like you're calling them a knob.
Yeah, I was absolutely chatting shit.
Yeah.
Right. I feel
Yeah.
like we're not going to be any comfort to these poor people in their time of grief.
Yeah, we turn around from discussing the anatomy of penises.
Also, I think someone beat us to the bodies.
I feel like we're running into a lot of messed up graveyard stuff in this whole, geographical area.
I'm beginning to suspect another necromancer, which isn't great news for me.
It's true, you don't need competition.
Exactly.
You guys been sitting in at tables, walking around?
They look at you and they don't understand what you mean to ask that. And one of the women you ask tells you that they pray to Saint Markovia, that they will be spared from this, whatever it is. And she walks away after handing you a very small, like a charm, with what seems to be the picture of, it's kind of like a saint on it. No, it's obviously a person on it, but it's what they called Saint Markovia.
Does it look valuable?
It's small and like made of copper or bronze or something. It's not
I
worth very much.
hand it to whoever else wants it.
Meg will take it. Meg's a bit superstitious.
That's a good tidbit of information.
You write that down in your Meg file.
Yeah.
Oh, there's files on all of us hidden
One
away
day-
in the mystery wagon somewhere.
One day I'm going to make senior inspector.
And you'll only
No,
get
if I-
there through internal affairs.
Karen's is just 2 words. Would I? Question mark.
For some reason,
With
all I can think of is the
multiple
film
as well.
Filth.
I took my ex on our first date to see Filth.
Filth, the great film.
It is a great film, but it's not the best film for a first date.
No. There's a lot in it that I can see where people got very upset by.
I didn't know Professor X was so kinky.
So what do you do now?
I suppose we carry on to the top of the hill.
Yeah, we leave these people behind to their mourning and
I
that,
think
and
they already left us
head up
behind.
towards the Abbey.
Okay. So, you...
Wait, they said there were dogs, right?
Yeah, they were
Is there a butcher's? Can we find we get like a beef bone?
Well, the impression I got is that they're normal people cards, and if we're careful, we'll be able to get past them fine.
And don't bother them.
Yeah, if we're not violent or anything, they'll probably leave us alone.
So I suggest no one tries to start a fight. I'm looking at you lot.
Yeah, nobody
Okay,
punch
you
anyone
helps.
out.
I love how it's going from looking at one of you to looking at all of you.
I mean,
Oh,
Karen
no.
just accepts that, yeah, she has a sharp temper.
Yeah, Karen headbutting the windmill itself. So you go up through the back of the town. You go through like a secondary wall. It's like, you know in some castles they have the front wall and a further back wall to prevent the sort of heart of the castle being taken?
Yes,
That
like
makes
in
sense.
that movie I saw once.
Yeah. So
then they
you're going
drop
through that
hot oil on them.
Yeah, so you go through that sort of second gate, and as you go through that, you lead a long winding path up towards the Abbey itself. As you get close to the Abbey, there's a dilapidated wall, which, as you follow it around, leads to a very old rusted iron gate. Next to the gate, and the inside, is a guardhouse. What do you do?
Well, why are these Abbey men so concerned with all these walls?
I
Why are
mean,
they worried about getting tapped by?
well, there was that last one that was killed
Yeah,
by
but
a big-ass monster.
Plus, there's all the wolves.
I suppose. And I don't think you need like 3 walls to keep out wolves.
I mean, 4 ideally.
So you're saying they're half-assing it?
Well, I mean, in the old days,
They haven't thought this through.
it was a lot more dangerous in the old days, wasn't it? So maybe it's, they're probably not new walls. I imagine they're probably quite old.
I do not know about the old days, Tubbs. I am quite young still.
Yeah, Tubbs, don't go and settle the woman her.
That's Karen in her 50s.
No, she's like 40 odd.
You told her that 2
Yeah,
episodes
but
ago you
at
were
20th
54.
Did I?
Yes!
She's been 54 for 10 years now. Sorry, 44. Right.
Do you wish to retroactively change Karen's age, Belry?
No, because I don't know how old she is at the minute. I'm really confused.
Maybe we should announce our presence so we don't get attacked by wild dogs, guard people.
Okay.
Who's carrying the dress? Someone got it, right?
Sure, yeah, I'll carry it.
Yeah.
You we came all this way and forgot the dress.
So, do we have to head back now and get the dress?
No, we can send the dog. Send the dog to go get it.
Oh,
Got it,
no.
we've got it. I've got it in my pocket.
Oh, you got it in your pocket. Okay, that's good.
This dog was carrying this like
My
mud-soaked
dress
wedding
pocket.
dress up the hill. Behind you, just like
I can
He's wearing it. He's wearing it.
Can we just quickly talk about why does this guy want that lady's wedding dress?
Hey, look, we're not here to judge.
Not yet,
Yeah,
Tubbs.
but surely there's easier wedding dresses to get than that specific
Tubbs.
one. Like
Don't kink shame, Tubbs.
But that woman, no, but that woman, she had to go to a different town, to a place where no one likes them, to steal a dress that belonged to a specific person. Does that not sound a little bit dodgy and black magic-y to you?
Well,
Nah, it just sounds
oh,
like she didn't like the person and decided she wanted to steal from them, and she also happened to need a dress.
all they seem to have
Maybe they
here-
had a grudge against each other.
All
Yeah.
they seem to have here is blacksmiths and armorers. I ain't convinced they ain't got no tailor.
I mean,
maybe
that's
they're
very
just
true,
punching
actually.
each other.
In my experience of black magic, it usually requires some kind of
Wedding dress.
belonging of a person that, like, well, all the magic I know that was a bit on the dodgier side requires to have some kind of item that has a personal connection to a person, and then you can do shit with it.
Maybe, but let's just go and find out.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
we can
don't
always
think
break
it's
his
not.
knees if we need.
It's not our problem if there's something dodgy going on.
As we get our coins.
Yeah, I spent all of my hard-earned jewelry on these armors.
And by the way,
hard-earned jewelry.
I rattle my pocket and there's just a sad noise as like 2 rocks clink together. And a
carrying
butterfly
rocks
flies
around.
out. You know, like you get random stones in your shoe, like that.
Yeah,
You're not in your pocket though.
Well, I don't know, maybe a wizard put them there.
depends how much rolling around in like clay pits you do, I guess.
Like, how do you get the stones in your shoes in the first place? I never actually figured that out.
Well, spiders
Maybe
put them there
that
in
is
your sleep.
a wizard. No, right, you go outside and you put your shoes on and you've got no stones in your shoes, and then like all of a sudden there's shoe stones.
Yeah, spiders put them there. That's
But
why they're all small, because the spiders keep carrying them.
how do the spiders not get stepped on when they're putting them in?
Because they're very careful.
I'm not convinced of this.
They're giving you presents for you letting them live there.
Right, I doubt the veracity of this claim.
Have you never seen these spiders?
No, I can't say I have.
You've never looked properly, Barry. They gather good
Put me on the
spiders. They're
fence.
like penguins. They gather you the best like stones they can, and then they
Right.
carry them over a course of several hours and put them in your shoes.
Now I know you're chatting shit, because penguins you can have to pick stones up with.
Penguins gather stones.
With what? They're not thumbs.
No,
You see
penguins
the-
gather stones as something to try and like convince the mate they're worth keeping because they get the best stones for the mate. So they're like penguins in that regard.
Have you seen the thing where the penguins are sort of making it so they can lay the eggs earlier by pooing all of the snow away? Like they poo so much that the snow melts so they can lay the eggs earlier. But also, no. Penguins... First of all, there are no penguins in the northeast of England.
There are many penguins in the northeast of England. They're all in zoos.
Right, there are no ones out in the metro centre when I
You know
get shoes
this?
in my stolen
Could
my
be
shoes.
there. They're just very stealthy.
That's why the black and white is just a
Yes.
ninja outfit.
They're black and white. They fit in Newcastle fine.
Right.
Oh my god!
Just because you haven't noticed the black and white sometimes is a penguin, not a person.
Okay,
Does
so
anyone know where the plot
I'm
was?
saying that half of Newcastle's football team is penguins and just nobody notices.
If you when's the last time you looked at their faces?
Not very often, admittedly, I don't follow the football.
See, they could be penguins.
it's alright, Tubbs is gonna roll to find the plot.
Okay, let's find the plot.
That was a fun. Do you know what? This rolling thing hates me.
Right, penguins.
It's
You got
hated me
15,
for
right?
a while as well.
I think penguins are the plot. I don't know why, but I think they're relevant. Basically, are we agreeing that we don't care what he's doing with it? Because I'm a little bit suspicious as to why he wants this person's wedding dress.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
judging. He can do what he wants.
Well, I'm keeping an eye out for, like, penguins with little stones, putting them in their shoes now.
Maybe he
So
needs
I
it.
don't care about the dress anymore.
He's
Oh,
like
we were
he's like an
saying that.
abbot, right? Maybe he needs it as like a backup in case he's meant to be running a wedding and the bride accidentally spills like chocolate milk on her dress, and he can be like, "Don't worry, I've got this spare dress."
Or maybe he's
But I
gonna
mean-
bunk his wife and marry someone else.
But I'm just saying,
sure.
Right,
they went through the effort to make it fit that woman.
Oh,
As in-
ready,
abbots.
guys.
They had
Right.
the tailor like remade it, right?
That's true.
Oh yeah.
All I'm saying is, can we ask a few questions?
Are abbots even supposed to get married? Aren't they meant to be like celibate?
Sail good.
Celibate.
Celibate. Right.
This is one of the many questions. All I'm saying is, let's just keep an open mind.
We'll right wrongs.
Exactly, because we're CSI Barovia. We're here to provide impartial police enforcement.
I will
Police.
keep an eye out for clues,
Right.
which is Karen's code text, but I will steal things that aren't nailed down and look valuable.
I want to shout through the gate then. Hey ho! Anybody there?
When you shout through, two about halfling-sized, they do look like dogmen, come out and sort of make very weird noises at you and point spears. What do you do?
We got the dress for the abbot, the bishop? No, not the bishop. The baron sent us.
The bishop!
Baroness, yeah.
Okay, so
Rosie holds up the dress.
they nod, and one of them opens the gate while the other one he keeps his spear pointed at you.
So
And let's walk through.
I guess they understand talking.
So, can you not point your spear at us, please, because we're friends?
Yeah,
One
there's
of
no need
them-
to get.
The one that's pointing the spear narrows his eyes, pulls his spear back a little bit and sort of gestures as in follow me, and he walks towards the building.
Thank you very much, Fido.
I'm gonna like strike a match on like a piece of wall as I walk past and light up a cigarette.
Okay, as I see her go for her matches, I'm gonna try and pop a little bit of fire with my
Okay.
staff.
Roll.
Fuck thick.
Oh no.
Hey Karen, I got you, don't worry.
Hey Karen!
I'm aiming to light her cigarette. I lit her cigarette.
You
and then-
manage to spark your staff, and Karen sort of looks at it very strangely. She's got this large staff in her face that's on fire.
Does she still have eyebrows?
She does, but most of her cigarette itself is on fire.
Do you need a light?
I blow smoke in Tubbs' face and like spit out the burnt remains of my cigarette and like light another match off of his staff.
Okay. So,
I have to
You-
take 2 cigarettes off my tobacco patch now, gone.
So, you follow these two dogmen effectively into this very large abbey. They open the door and they lead you to a sort of very expanse courtyard. One of them sort of gestures as in stay here, and the two of them disappear off the door onto the left. As they disappear, you look around the courtyard. There is a very large well, there is a set of gallows, and you notice that all the doors on the right of you seem to either been significantly boarded up or have collapsed inwards. What
I've
do
never
you
been
do?
told to stay by a dog before.
My daddy, he told me when I was a kid that if you throw a corn in the well, you gotta make a wish. But I tried that, and I ain't convinced it works because I had a kid.
I mean, why does an Abbey need a gallows?
Maybe to make me jerky.
Yeah, maybe they're cutting watermelons with it.
Is it just me who's getting a spooky ass vibe here?
How do you cut a watermelon with gallows exactly?
You kind of jam it in the head hole, and then you
No.
cut it in half like a...
That's a
That's a
guillotine.
guillotine.
You're alright, it is a guillotine. I'm an idiot.
That's a guillotine, Oz.
That was a complete brain shutdown from me.
No, you can only like draw things on a fuck, what's it called? On
Gallows.
a gallows. Yeah.
So who rolled lowest?
Oh shit. Tubbs.
Okay. When you look at the gallows, you see the body like switch to yourself for a couple of seconds, and as you walk closer to it, it looks in significant detail that it's you hanging with very dead eyes staring back at everyone else.
Guys, why is my body on that gallows? I'm sure it's here. I didn't die in the night, did I?
Well, it can't be your body, Tubbs, because your body's here.
Exactly. the same
Everyone
with
else who looks at the body just sees a normal standard body. They don't see Tubbs.
Yeah, that body's far too tall to be yours.
I mean, it's exactly the same as me. I'm gonna get up and stand next to it and be really creeped out by it. Look, it's
Okay.
exactly the same size as me. It's got the same face.
Everyone else looks at it and sees a standard like Barovian man in like a blue-red jerkin who just seems to have been hanging there for a while.
It's even got the same black robe.
He scratches her head and is like, Tubbs, it doesn't look like you at all.
How will you not
Weird,
see
isn't
it? It's identical to me. Look, it's got that stupid little birthmark on the face.
As he turns around and crosses her arms and faces the other guys, he's like, what do you think's happening to him?
I think he's losing it.
I think it might be... It's been a while since I had one of them pastries, right? It has happened to Dennis when he stopped taking.
So you just being weird on
Yes.
purpose, or is you really seeing this?
I mean, it's there. Look, I'm gonna poke the podge, right? It's even got my podge, look. I recognize that body anywhere.
If I got something to compare height against the body,
Yeah, the body's even a different height, but Tubbs is
Yeah,
convinced that it's
so- but-
definitely him.
if I got something that
Arna.
was the same height as the body, or roughly the same height, and put it next to the hanging body,
Well, the body's
Would
currently
Tubbs
hanging
seem-
through the floor. Are you going to cut the body down first to do this?
no.
Let's
I'm
just,
disres-
can
I was
anyone
gonna say that's-
roll Arcana? Oz, do you have Arcana?
Can I just slap Tubbs?
You can, yes.
I'm gonna
Okay.
slap Tubbs.
I'm gonna offer Meg my cigarette.
You
Yeah.
slap
Bang.
Tubbs. Tubbs staggers onto the body, pulling the rope through. The body snaps and falls through the hole. Body turns back to a normal person in Tubbs' eyes, and he gets quite freaked out by it.
See?
Yeah.
Doesn't look like you at all.
I mean, it did. But that entire time while it's hanging up there, it was me. I swear. It had my face and everything. It had that weird birthmark I'd got. I even checked down,
As the body is lying there in a heap, you notice that there is a sort of half-broken milking stool lying next to it.
Why is there a stool under here?
A milking stool. Who's been milking this dead body?
Was it a suicide? And he like kicked
Looks
the
like
stool over?
I mean, maybe.
Okay.
Also,
Remember the
though,
last guy?
Also, if you were the Abbey of this place, why would you have a dead body hanging up here still?
It is the Abbot.
But remember the fishing guy that we had last time? He was collecting blood.
True, yeah. Couldn't we inspect the body? Is there anything about how it has died and that kind of stuff about it?
You can inspect the body if you want.
Now, would someone like to help me? Because I'm not feeling my best self today.
I'll give you a hand.
CSI Perovia, roll out.
I have no idea.
Meg
I'm 7.
looks over the body. She finds that he's definitely been killed by strangulation. She notices his hands are tied behind his back, and she notices that on his hand he has a brand that she remembers meaning thief.
Oh, so guys, this guy was a thief. Mark in his hand marks him out as one.
It's
So
a,
he's obviously been hanged for a crime.
it is a good thing that we have nothing to worry about then. Not
Well, I
even
wouldn't
keeping
say
on.
that.
I mean, I don't.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, Tubbs, you're just a murderer. You're not a thief.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's an accident, it's not murder.
Okay, you're just a manslaughterer. You're not a thief.
Oh, it's
If-
just a shopping trip for furniture.
So if being a murderer cancels out theft, do those two old ladies, like Left 4 Dead, cancel out all the thieving? Is that how it works?
I feel like you've misunderstood me.
My question, gentlemen, is why is the abbot, a man of peace and tranquility, hanging a thief? It's a bit extreme, isn't it? Why would the abbot be hanging people, especially for like
This town's just really strict.
Yeah, maybe, it's like vigilante justice.
Hey, Karen, can I suggest you don't collect any clues?
I do not think that hanging thieves is a proportionate punishment.
So, as you're sort of looking around, not really sure what to do with it, you hear what I can only describe as some sort of... It's kind of like a scream, but it cuts short very quickly. And you notice that the door that they went through is now hanging open. What do you do?
Now, didn't they say that they hear weird screams from here as well?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, is this guy branding and torturing people? I just want to meet a normal priest.
They all
No
seem a
chance.
bit mad.
Let's just
They
say-
all seem a bit crazy, don't they?
I think that someone should lead from the front and I'll guard the rear.
Well, Tubbs, you could use your new light up feature on your staff as a light and lead the way.
I think it's better used in the back because then I can cover everything. I don't want to leave a blank spot at the back, I'll go in the middle, between everyone else.
I'll go at the back.
Yeah.
I'm not a particularly religious tiefling.
Rosie goes towards the front with this bit ready.
Yeah, I'll
Thanks,
crack my
behind her.
neck.
Protect you guys.
So,
Let's go inside.
so you go through the main door. Ahead of you is a narrow corridor. And at the end, it opens up to a very grand hall, like a dining hall. And ahead of you, there's lots of long tables, some small stools, and on the tables themselves are bowls and cutlery and stuff like that all seem to have been used recently.
Are we talking tens of people, hundreds of people?
Looking about just over 100 people, or 100
Right,
places,
so-
should I say.
There's a lot of people here, and I don't see a lot of people.
Yeah, where are they?
Sorry, was there any actual food laid out?
It seems like there was food, but it has been eaten by something, as in, looks like everyone has eaten and then gone away. Like there's some remnants of food left in the bowls and stuff, but most
Yeah,
of it's
there
been eaten.
wasn't maybe a particularly picky child or someone who maybe had a bit of a snack before they came here, and so they maybe left most of the food so it could save what they were eating.
There's a couple
Right.
that are half full if you look closely, but at the end of it all, in the middle of the room at the top, is like a larger cauldron in front of a fireplace that's long since gone out.
I'll be honest, by picky child, I thought you meant in like a Goldilocks kind of way, but had to go through 100 meals. That's slightly too hot.
So, but at
On
least
a
does it look
scale of 1 to 10, that's a 4. I can't eat that, that's too cold.
Is there anyone in here?
There's no one here, no.
Does it at least look like
Continue
normal
on.
food? It's not a person's foot or something though.
It looks like either soup or gruel or something, it doesn't look like much more than that.
I'm going to follow Rosie, continuing on.
I'm going to
Okay,
pop out
there-
a spoon.
There are some stone stairs down into what seems to be like a metal
You know what, I'm
barred
just going to see
room.
if I clock Oz stealing a spoon. Oh, fucking hell. Or on natural 20, I'm stealing a spoon.
What is it you're looking for?
Oz stealing the spoon.
So yes, you notice Ozmand stealing some spoons.
Oz! They literally hanged the guy out there for stealing shit.
Stitches get stitches, bro.
It's not a crime if nobody finds out, Tubbs.
Nobody's
I'm
looking.
not stealing it, I'm borrowing it temporarily for maybe
I'll be honest.
30 years.
I see myself hanging out there, and I don't really want that to happen. So I'm just saying I'm not having any party or theft, and I will grass you up.
Oh my god!
If it saves my bacon.
Meg's
Is this
just gonna
where we-
slap Tubbs.
Is this
We're
where we have
friends.
a
We don't turn
prison-
each other in.
A prison beatdown of Tubbs.
I only meant if they like, I mean in more of a, if they torture me and be like, who stole the spoons? I'm not holding out for you. I'm not good under torture.
Tubbs, I think you're gonna have to keep an eye out to make sure nobody stabs you in the back with a toothbrush.
Or a bread knife.
Oh, don't be silly. The only person I know who's got a bread knife is you, so that's fine.
Yes.
Oh, it's gonna be so easy.
So anyway, there's a set of stone stairs at the back of the room that go down into what looks like a sort of cellar area, and there are some wooden stairs that go up into a sort of rickety platform.
Can I just take a quick poll? Have we yet been down a set of creepy cellar stairs that haven't been creepy as fuck?
No, I don't think we have yet.
I'm sure last time I went down the cellar, I beat a priest's son.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No,
I'm
the
just
last time we
saying.
went to the cellar, we found the naked dude tied up.
Who had
That
been
wasn't a
tortured.
cellar, that was a secret library room.
We went down some stairs to get to it though, didn't we?
Does
Yeah.
that make it a cellar?
Maybe.
Last time we went down into a cellar, there was evidence of a child being locked up as well.
It's true.
Yeah.
So basically, let's just be cautious, shall we?
Go down first.
Okay, so you head down the stairs. There is a iron grate-like door. which seems to have been ripped off the hinges, and it lies broken and mangled at the side. And in this room there's like lots of barrels of grain and like very salted meat and stuff like that, like obvious supplies.
Can I roll some kind of inspection check to see if this is similar kind of to the tearing off of doors we saw in the last church we were in? That beast that was like that kind of bestial clawing.
No, this definitely seems like something with immense strength has ripped the door off.
Okay. I'm gonna level with you all. I'm uncomfortable. That is all.
Yeah.
Duly noted.
I think we're all a little bit freaked out.
Interest down here?
There's not much else down there apart from like basic food supply.
I'm gonna get like a bit of dried meat and like stress eat.
Okay. So
Just to,
Karen
like,
starts
make
chewing
myself-
on very salted meat.
Yeah. Just to make myself feel a little bit, like calm myself a bit.
Just getting your jaws around something.
Yeah.
Upstairs to the platform, I guess. Actually, from what direction did we hear the screaming, or was it just generally
It was
inside?
just generally, it's one of those old, quite acoustic buildings, so everything just echoes round.
Right, someone's being tortured in here. We should. Although, I'm not gonna lie, the dog guards did tell us to stay where we were,
I forgot about them.
so we might be trespassing now.
Let's just go upstairs quickly and see if we can find the dude.
Okay.
I mean, they only strongly hinted, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, technically we're just like a delivery
Yeah.
service. We can't be hanging around outside forever. We need to drop off, get that signature, and off we go.
As he says hanging around, Tubbs is gonna visibly cringe.
Well, we could throw it in the bushes and leave a little note saying that the recipient was not home, so we'll put it somewhere safe.
Still
I've
better
got-
than my Hermes.
I've got a level with you all. This guy wants a very specific item in a specific size, and he hang a dude, and all we've heard so far is people being tortured.
He hang a dude.
I know, it's what we say where I'm from. All I want to say is I'm slightly uncomfortable.
Oh, come on, you
I think
guys.
you're pretty hung up about this guy who got hung.
That was amazing.
I believe the correct terminology is hanged, and for a while it was me.
But
Come on, let's just go.
So, you move up to the sort of rickety platform. It leads all the way up, and you notice that there seems to be other parts of the Abbey that have been closed off, again through, like, the doorways collapsed and stuff, so you can't go in there.
Shoddy
As you-
workmanship in this abbey.
As you continue to follow what path you can, you find yourself on the ramparts above where you were before, and you notice that ahead of you in the other side of the Abbey that you couldn't get to because all the doors have been closed, you notice when you look up there's like 2 stories above where you are, and the top one seems to have like a glowing light coming out of it.
Where cool.
Well, we found a light on, so
But we're in the wrong tower.
yeah.
You're currently crossing the ramparts towards the other half.
I mean, do we want to go for that?
I guess that's where the Abbot is. Maybe we could call him. I throw a rock at the window.
As you
Really?
get to the other side of the ramparts, you notice that the door into the other half is lying open, and it has a substantial dent towards you in the door.
As in, say someone's trying to breaking out.
As in, if the door had been closed over, someone's punched it from the other side, and it's got a substantial dent in the door. It's a metal door.
Now, there's been a lot of this punching holes in doors,
It's a whole county of people who don't know how to work door handles.
or maybe
Also-
just one person.
Looks at Tubbs.
Well, it could be lead, as I learned from when I chucked that girl out the window. Lead's a pretty soft metal.
So,
I suppose we should go up to the tower then and see who's home.
when you look ahead, you notice that this room seems quite empty, but there's a sort of spiral staircase at the back of the room leading upwards, and there's a stair leading downwards as well.
Do we, so if we go down, we're going to end up into the bit we can't get into from the courtyard.
Yeah.
And be trapped in this castle where they hang people for small things. If we go up, then we might find the person who's punching holes in doors.
Well,
It sounds like a win-win to me.
what
Either
if,
way, we're gonna get trapped.
What if we stay down here and we lure the man from upstairs down,
Ooh,
and
that's a
then
good
we break his legs?
idea.
Well, we
What
do
did-
have some bombs. We could, or we have purple fireworks.
Were there any fruit, perhaps, in those barrels downstairs?
No, why?
No. Okay, so I couldn't, for instance, find a banana skin to place on the stairs.
I thought you were going to eat a banana seductively.
They are a good source of potassium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Important for muscle function. This week sponsored by bananas.
Right, yeah. Are we
Okay,
going
so
up or down?
that's my plan, Scuppered.
I mean, we could just shout and then, you know...
Wait a minute, Tubbs, do you still have any of that soap from the windmill?
I have a bar of soap still, yeah.
Could you soap the stairs?
I mean, what if they're innocent?
Can you
Well-
break the legs?
Innocent until proven guilty, right?
I mean, I haven't got any liquid to lather it up, so at the moment it's just going to be a block of soap on a stair.
Let's go see.
I'm
mean,
gonna
I-
follow Rosie.
You guys.
Rosie, let's go. Let's just going.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
going
going to go upstairs as well.
Well, I quite like the idea of having a man fall down the stairs.
Are you doing anything to the stairs behind you, or are you just going up the stairs?
Can I set a grenade kind of trap?
Like
Booby
a
trap.
tripwire.
Yeah, tripwire. That's the word. Oh my god.
There is no way this can possibly go wrong.
A tripwire with the lead grenade.
That's crazy.
No, can I do
Quite a
it
good
with
green.
or purple fireworks?
So you want to have a firework tripwire.
Yeah, just so we can like know when they're coming, because we'll be able to see the fireworks.
Right, okay. I don't know how
thought
you're
you
going to spark the firework, but okay.
I think just meant a wire to trip him over down the stairs.
Or we could do that. That could
get
be
a Home Alone
Well,
or
I
something.
think the firework will need the spark to do it, so you'd have to...
Yeah.
Well, what if we took one of Karen's matches that she produces from her body and, like, wire it up so that it's up against the striker, that when the wire is tripped, it strikes it, and then it lights a fuse.
So I could
I
do a
mean,
grenade.
we could just use a tripwire and listen out for someone falling over a tripwire.
Could we find an iron?
So, can I just check? This is on the stairs going up the way you're going, yes?
Damn.
like the stairs behind us, like the top of the stairs behind
Well,
us.
it's the stairs. There's a set of stairs going up and a set of stairs going down. Just
Okay.
checking where exactly you're putting this, just so I know.
Okay, where should we put it
anyone
then?
coming up, we get alerted to?
Karen, you must have an empty on you.
An empty what?
Bottle.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I had a bottle of wine. No, actually, I gave the bottle of wine to that Valaki drum, so I
You
guess
did,
no.
yeah.
Have we got anything like that so that we can just set up something that... Oh, do you know what? We're going to hear someone falling over because they'll probably shout fuck.
I feel like a man of the church, a man of the cloth, would not say fuck. He'd probably say, like, frick or darn.
I think you'll find a man of the church would say feck.
We could use the squeeze box as a trap.
No! No!
It goes down
It'll
the
probably
like,
be the first time the squeeze box got somebody on the floor.
I don't care, we're not giving up my squeeze box.
I mean, it wouldn't get broken. It would just trap it so they'll pull out and they'll make a weird noise as it gets stretched.
I don't like this idea.
I
I
I
want to
feel
keep my
like
squeeze
it'll be the first time someone's pulled out in relation to a squeeze box, too.
It's just.
Maybe we should just go upstairs and see the guy.
Roll to be stealthy to see if I can listen as we go up the
You
stairs.
can after we've
Okay.
been discussing all these plans.
I'm just gonna set up a tripwire because it's just easier.
Okay.
We're going up.
So you set this tripwire up and you head up the one flight of stairs. You go through a very basic wooden door and you come into a sort of dank smelling barracks. And inside there's like triple thick bunk beds. Basically they're all tub sized beds and there's loads of them in this room.
Guard dogs. Cool.
I guess
suspect
this
this
is the
might be-
barracks.
Yeah, I suspect this might
Yeah.
be for the guards.
Can I search under the beds?
You can, yes. You look under the beds and there's not really much there. There's a couple of like old remnants of scraps of meat. You do find a bandolier.
This is a really weird playboy.
What?
It's like a dog person playboy.
That's your
Flaky
thing. I'm not
boy.
adding that.
No, I'm just joking.
There's
a
a
bandolier.
there's a bandolier.
What's in the bandolier?
Nothing. It's just a bandolier.
Oh. Who wants a bandolier?
It's a bandolier.
It's like a
Carrying
sort of you know it's like a sort of belt, but you wear it across your shoulder and down.
I feel like that's a roguey kind of weapon.
Yeah, it's more of a rogue kind
You
of-
know the things you see across old chests when they've got like grenades strapped to it. It's like a sort of band of material.
I feel like that could fit multiple ceremonial daggers.
Yes. Can I have it?
You can have the deer.
Meg just puts it on and goes, ooh! Yay!
How are we gonna
More
get
things to kill people with.
There's another stairs going up.
Another flight of stairs.
Carry on up then.
You Take the next set of stairs up, and as you get to the top, you push open the door. It's a very humble-looking bedroom, effectively. Seems to be like a quite large, plump bed on one side. There seems to be a desk which has it's like a candle, but it's got some sort of ever-burning flame on it. And there in front of that, on that sort of desk, is a diary that's got a white feather as a bookmark.
Can Karen do her best to read it?
Okay. You want to start from the beginning, or do you want to start from where the bookmark is?
How big a book are we talking? This is.
You flick through it, there's about 8 entries.
Okay, yeah, we'll start from the beginning.
Okay.
We stood likely in the abbot's room, going through his shit. Now, I'm just saying, if they just hang people who steal something, I've seen what my buddy looks up on some gallows, and I don't like it.
Well, we can just say we was concerned about the abbot because we couldn't find him. So we're just looking for clues.
I mean, the dogs said they'd go and get it. Well, the dogs indicated they would get him and we'd have to chill.
So we could just pretend we did not understand.
The start of the book talks about the abbot arriving here, and he talks about how the Abbey used to be this dedicated hub for all these priests and holy men to come to when they were in the Barovian region. But since about 200 years ago, where there was some sort of spell or bad luck cast upon it and everyone went mad, it's been lying empty since, and he has came here to cleanse this abbey.
Oh, that's good. Everyone that came here went mental.
Are the entries dated?
Yes, that's the first one.
So how long's he been here?
That one was dated about 100 years ago.
Oh, so he's either really old or dead.
Or possessed.
Or like one of them skeleton bone people. Like
Or
a
like
lich.
a vampire.
Also one of them, yeah, there was that cripper guy who was trying to get blood.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the guy who was like commissioning him.
I'll be honest, I don't like any of those answers, so
I mean, I like the answer where he's just dead.
Do you wish to read any more of this?
Yeah.
Okay. The next entry talks about how there were a group of lepers that turned up at his gates that he let in, and over the course of the next 20 years he nursed them back to health and cured them.
but you can't. I thought leprosy was incurable.
He found a way.
Love finds a way. This March, coming to cinemas.
Also, I'm just saying, this guy's terrible at keeping up a diary. If you know one thing, which is I came to an abbey. The second one, I spent the last 20 years healing some lepers. He's not very frequent, is he?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Do you want to read the next entry?
Yeah.
Okay. The next entry, he talks about how he has met a fellow holy man who arrived also at the gates, and he feels he's no longer doubting his faith because after a long discussion with this fellow holy man, he realises that he has in fact not done enough to cure these poor folk. And although he has cured them of their ailment, he still feels he could do more, and this stranger has convinced him that he should have done more. He has decided to open the library and allow them to research and see if they can progress any further.
Bit of a guilt trip there.
Yeah.
But there's a library somewhere, which we should note. I will continue to read the next passage.
Okay. The next entry talks about how they eventually did find something. They found an ancient manuscript that allowed them to create a potion that would imbue great strength and guile onto the consumer. However, when they tried it, it only seemed to work on a short-term basis. He's encouraging the sort of folk, which he now refers to as his flock, to continue to research and attempt to find something that lasts maybe a bit longer.
Oh god, what do you think he turned these people into dogs?
So, we need to keep an eye out for a super strong leper.
I am imagining they might be dogs now.
And if they are dogs, then really flock isn't a good term. It should have gone with pack.
Yeah. So, the door that got punched in, like how high was the punch in this?
About normal human height.
Okay, so I don't think it was the Dogmen, because they look too short.
That's true, they were smaller.
Maybe it was the priest.
Maybe it was. Maybe he's dipping into his own supply.
And trust me, I've been there. You shouldn't do that.
Rule number one.
We're all there as well.
Rule number one: do not use your own supply. I learned that from Dennis. Dennis was the one who was like a meth dealer, right?
Yeah.
Trying to keep track of them all.
I'm looking forward to learning about Meg.
Meg was just a carny.
Karen's really good at knocking cans off of a wall with a ball.
I'm really looking forward to the release of the Karen Lebowski source book. Just really goes into detail.
I feel like you'd play like different versions of Karens, like different classes of Karen. So like Mick Florentino Karen, Meg Florentino Karen.
This is so tempting to make me do like Karen Quest. Like Goblin Quest, only everyone's playing a different version of Karen.
Yeah, everyone is a time-displaced version of Karen.
You know,
Apart from one person who's playing Tyler.
Yeah.
Was it not Sean Bean Quest who did as well, where everyone's playing a different version of Sean Bean?
I don't
They all
know.
die.
It's like
sure.
Goblin Quest, only everyone's playing a different version of Sean Bean, and they're trying to survive a movie.
Next entry.
This entry discusses that the experiments are now daily. They have eventually found one that has increased the strength and guile and even resistance to the winter. The only problem is that it causes complete disfigurement upon drinking. But
What
the
kind?
lepers were happy because it stopped them seeing the sores, and they now are incredibly happy that they are now effectively gnolls.
Is that the way dog people are? Do we know what gnolls are, or do we need to roll for that?
You know what gnoll, you've met a couple
Okay.
on the way here, you know what gnolls are.
Right.
Some of my best friends are gnolls. Hell, there's a little bit of gnoll in my family tree. Like my grandpapa was a gnoll.
That
So-
explains your joy of burrowing.
Wasn't he also the one that blew up the
Fish.
lake of fish as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the grandpapa on my mother's side.
Oh, was it?
My mother was the fancy one.
Okay, next one.
The next one talks about how he has stopped doubting his faith, and he's basically just really strongly believes in his faith. Basically just talks about how, you know, it's happy that these like gnoll folk have like really embraced since they've taken over, and they're now all really happy, and he feels like he's cured one of the worst regions of people, effectively.
And what's the date? What's the date spread on these?
That one is about 20 years ago.
So about every 20 years he's writing something,
Yeah.
15, 20 years.
The next post is from about a year ago.
The handwriting is the same, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The next post talks about how the stranger has reappeared. He hasn't seen him in a long time, and he welcomed him with open arms. They talked long into the night, and his flock are now... He basically just bragged how great his flock were. The stranger told him that, you know, that's great, but we need to look at other things, such as the fact that the current lord of the land has not taken a bride, and he seems to look down upon all of these humble wenches, shall we say. And that truly, if we're going to find something to date someone who considers himself a god like this Lord of the Land does, we need to craft one.
Oh, they've got like a little
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein bride.
The next entry is about 2 or 3 weeks later, when he talks about he has had a significant fight with his faith about if he should do this, and he's not sure if he should proceed. The entry after that is about 3 months ago, where he states that he's accepted that this is indeed the best cause of action, and his flock have been helping him retrieve bodies that he can, like, fix together so he can create this flesh creature.
Well, that explains where all of the bodies went from the graveyard.
Yeah.
So basically they're making a wife for the Lord of the Land who's got to wear this wedding dress.
Technically, they ain't married yet, so wouldn't she be a fiancé?
Well, by the sound of it, they haven't met yet, so... Can I just be the first to say I told you he was doing something creepy as shit with this dress?
It's not too creepy, it's just a bit of matchmaking if you ignore a corpse digging up and the stitching.
Yeah, it's just a
You know
strange
me.
arranged marriage.
Well, I am absolutely okay with digging up corpses, that's fine by me.
So what's the
But
problem?
this is unnatural. Making a new person.
There are 2 entries left.
I will read the next entry then. I'll snatch the
entry-
book off of Tubbs.
This entry is
this-
about 4 weeks ago. He talks about how they found lots of books in the library that they have been using to further advance this project he's working on. They have also found the details for a ritual on how to channel a soul into the body.
I don't fuck about with souls. Their souls go wherever they deserve to go.
He also talks about how, although he has been convinced that this has been the best idea, he will make sure that this creature is educated. It is not only strong and able to carry responsibility, but is also like educated in song and etiquette and everything that would make a proper queen.
Does it mention anything about sourcing a soul?
About what?
Sourcing a soul.
Sourcing.
No, he just
Procuring.
talks about collecting a soul from Barovia itself.
From like the land?
He seems to describe it as a sort of floating around nearby.
Okay. Well, I don't really see, but I'm going to
Is that
say
be
that
the
I
lake?
see.
I'll be honest. This is the third creepy thing to do with the lake. Firstly, that monster escapes into the lake. Secondly, they're getting some weird soul from something floating by, which sounds like a lake to me. And also that weird ass statue that Shania did mess with.
Yeah, it does sound like it's got a bit of a hold over Shania.
There is one final entry.
I think we should stop reading right now. I don't know about you guys.
I
I
agree.
think we should find the priest, and it kind of seems that we're going to have to kill another priest.
No, I was joking. I actually really want to know what it says.
Okay.
Are
Continue.
you sure you want to know, Karen? Don't want me to stop now?
No, I'm sure. That joke backfired.
Okay. The last entry talks about how the stranger reappeared one last time and had a sort of look over what he was doing and told him he's doing a great job, but this creature needs to know how to dance, because all queens need to know how to dance. This has been a problem for him, and he has decided that he himself will teach the creature how to dance. Tonight's going to be the first day they will release the straps, and they will see how it lasts on its feet and if they can teach it to dance.
So what you're saying is they need some kind of musician, possibly a tiefling, to
Well, it's a
play
good
the music
thing.
to dance to.
It's a good thing we have a rogue with a squeeze box then.
Yep, I could play a tune for you.
About half a page later, you notice that there is something very quickly scribbled at the bottom. It's like a sort of very rushed entry. It says that when they released the straps, the creature, shot to its feet, screamed like a thing possessed, and began tearing the Nullfolk apart. They've managed to contain it within the catacombs of the Abbey, but it's so thick with magic it's nigh unkillable. They don't know what to do with it.
Well, I
He's
think
been
that sounds
assured
like
by his Nullfolk that it's trapped and it's not going to escape again, but he's not sure what to do about it.
Well, I think this is a little bit above our pay grade.
I was going to say, you know what this sounds like a job for?
The
Someone else.
police.
Someone with official jurisdiction.
And believe me, I do not say that lightly.
I mean, maybe we can go and find out what's going on and provide some help, but I don't know if they can need this dress anymore.
What if we just leave?
I
Yeah.
feel like we need to at least give them the dress. I mean, it's locked up, so that's alright, right?
Well, we're in the priest's room, right?
Yeah.
Why don't we just leave it on his bed with a note saying,
Sorry we missed you.
"Yeah, sorry we missed you. You were out."
By the
We
dark.
didn't read your
God.
diary, by the way.
Yeah, and then we just bail.
You hear a clang and a slam sound from downstairs.
That's
Is
the
that
tripwire.
is that my tripwire going off?
Alternate plan: we all hide behind the door and see what
I mean-
happens.
I would now broach the idea that we didn't actually say what we'd do when the tripwire went off. Do we want to
Yeah.
get out of this guy's room and make it look like we're about to knock? And it's just very good timing?
I say we hide behind the door, so if he comes, we can break his knees as he comes in.
But he's not a bad guy, I don't think.
I mean, he made a
He's tripped over.
homunculus.
He made a Frankenstein.
But that doesn't mean he's a bad, but he's been misled by this mysterious... I tell you what, there's a lot of mysterious strangers around here.
Look, Tubbs, I think you might be a little biased when it comes to fiddling around with dead bodies. But I don't particularly
Weird.
want to be involved with this, man.
I don't think he's done anything wrong, to be honest. I think it's a nice thing to do. Although I don't mess around with souls, I'll be honest.
Well, I'm sure you don't, Tubbs, so why don't you go greet him?
Okie dokie. I'm gonna start heading down the stairs.
Why would you give him such stupid ideas, Karen?
I'm gonna
Check
hide
on the
behind the door.
tripwire.
I'm gonna hide behind the door, ready to kneecap the next person who comes up.
So I'm gonna go about 3 steps down and kind of just sit on the step and wait for someone to come up the stairs.
You look down into the barracks, there's nothing in the barracks at all.
It's just a ghost.
Okay, I guess I'll go and inspect the trap then.
Okay. You walk down and have a look to the next set of
Stealthily.
stairs. You notice the tripwire has been snapped. You notice that the metal door that you walk through has been closed. And roll me a d20 to see if you notice the most obvious thing in the room. Yep. You notice that on the wall, scrawled in blood, is "Don't let cold in, close doors."
Oh shit. It's a frugal ghost?
I'm going to head back upstairs and relay what I've seen. And so, yeah, there's some...
Roll to see if Karen clocks you on the way up.
I didn't think the next person that came up was...
Can I try and stop this by sort of saying it's me as I come up the stairs, knowing they're hiding?
Roll again to see if Karen responds, or she's just in like... Yeah, okay. Karen does swing, but does stop in time.
I'm going to push the door to.
Okay.
Now, there was some blood on the wall in which someone had written, "Don't let the cold in." Now, my current theory is that if you had a crazy psychotic killing machine that was also very learned in etiquette, they might find a problem in... You know when you live with someone for the first time and they leave like the window open and you leave them a passive aggressive scroll, being like, hey, it'd be great if we didn't leave the windows open. Well, if you were a psychotic deranged killing machine, but also had a etiquette drilled into you, would you perhaps write such a note in blood?
Well, I think it sounds more like somebody's dad is loose.
Yeah, they didn't mention the thermostat.
No, just
Did they say anything about you don't pay these bills?
nothing of the sort. And I'm thinking now, maybe those screams were the thing escaping and killing people it came across systematically.
So, bail?
If we go down wearing jumpers, it'll be impressed by our frugality and leave us alone.
I think we should put down every toilet seat we come across.
My only issue with bailing is that either it went outside, in which case we're going to run into it as we leave, or it went downstairs, but we don't know which one's which.
So
And
you're
then-
saying bail by jumping out the window?
Well, currently our only way out of here is along the battlement again, because all the doors here are shut. I'm just saying, do we want to have a battlement top battle with a, and I quote, nigh unkillable monster?
That would be pretty epic.
We
I
don't
mean, it
need
would.
to kill it, we just need to stop it, and I have my trusty knee breaker here.
Let's summon it here.
Really? You want to summon it here?
I mean, it sounded pretty big. I don't like the thought of finding it in somewhere so small. I mean, we can barely swing a cat.
Yeah, you need to get some momentum on that swing, don't you, Aaron?
Especially if I'm using a cat.
Now, I'm thinking, if you remember correctly, the Baron said that the guard are going to look after everything. So I'm thinking if we get back and say, hey, Baron guy, let's take the diary with us, and be like, hey, the abbot is like 100 million years old, but has also made a killing machine which is now loose in the thing. He can send some guards and sort it out.
Have you ever wondered why that might be why we're here?
Yeah, the Baron sent us here. He might be aware of the situation.
I mean, it must have broken out relatively recently, because she only came into town for the wedding dress yesterday.
That stranger son of a bitch. He sent us here so he did not have to pay us.
I believe she's done this.
I mean, there were fresh meals and stuff. This can't be
Bunch of
something
monks
that's
here
going
or
on for
something.
ages. Exactly, it must be recently. I mean, we heard some screams as we were coming in, and also, yeah, there was food there from recently.
Investigate further.
I mean, I suppose we could always head downstairs and see what the situation is.
Yeah, let's do
I
that.
think we should check that other room that the dad has come through.
So, you head back down the stairs and get to the room you came in first. As I said, the metal door that you came through has been closed, and there's the blood on the wall. What do you do?
Does it look like really elegant, like queenly handwriting?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not a dad.
It's even got very curly script.
Are all of the eyes dotted with hearts?
No, they're dotted with very punctual circles.
I see.
So basically, I think that confirms our theory that this psychotic thing is broken out, but is very obsessed with etiquette, and so maybe if we greet her correctly, she won't kill us.
I've got an idea. We still got the dress.
We still got the dress.
If we run into the thing, we will give it the dress as a present. And
Okay.
And everybody curtsy. That's what's
Yeah.
supposed to do when you meet queens. You got a curtsy, right?
Your butler suit out.
Hey,
Yes.
Oz,
Yeah, okay. I'm going to derobe and have the butler suit ready.
you got a bunch of spoons, right, Oz?
I got one spoon.
Okay. I was going to suggest maybe we could put a range of different spoons in the wrong positions on a dinner table to distract her. And she will be forced by her etiquette to arrange them correctly.
I mean, I feel like if we proved one thing, it's that we're good at etiquette.
We're not good enough
can go
to close the
upstairs.
door behind us, I guess.
But I think the spoon thing is a good backup plan as we're trying to flee for our lives.
It would if we had more than one spoon.
Yeah, I only stole the one because, like, nobody notices one spoon missing. But if you take a handful, then suddenly it's like, oh, we seem to be down a bunch of spoons, you know.
Well,
You gotta be smart
Ozmand,
about this.
that's how you end up with no spoons. And you'll be looking, you'll be making a cup of tea, and you'll be looking through your spoon drawer, and then you'll be like, shit, where have all the spoons gone?
Well, yeah, that's why I only stole one.
It's a slippery slope.
Right, so we're going down the stairs, are we?
Yes, and everybody at your best behaviour and etiquette, so no stealing things.
I have, like, literally nothing in etiquette.
You can hang at the back, Karen.
I do not feel I am too good at that whole fancy hoity-toity stuff.
I thought you were a lady of distinction and class.
I am, but in, like, a sort of down-to-earth, real sort of way.
Southern class.
Street smarts. Yeah.
Okay.
Southern class.
Downstairs? We're heading down the stairs.
So you head down the stairs, and as you get down, you notice that it's like obviously laboratory style, and everything is made of very shiny brass or glass. And there are numerous machines, and in the middle of the room there's this like long brass table with like straps lying on the ground.
So it's out. I mean, she's out.
And we knew that already.
Yeah.
Are we gonna announce ourselves and hope that she comes here? Or are we just gonna wander around?
I'll announce very etiquettely.
We call her my lady, right?
Good evening, my lady.
She's not there at the moment.
Oh, okay.
We're just practicing.
It was a good dry run.
Okay, good.
Hi, hun. How you been?
So there's like these glass vials sitting around, is that what you...
It's basically everything you see is machinery, and it's made of brass or glass. There are pools of blood everywhere, but there's no bodies.
Are there any exits?
There are some more stairs going down the back of the room.
Shall we go down?
I think we should, because we at least know that she's not down there.
That's very true. We know that she's not behind us, hopefully.
Okay. You descend another level, and you come into what I can only describe as it's like a morgue room, where there are lots of slabs. There are lots of bodies, but they look mangled in a very strange way.
Does it look like they've been like surgically, like things have been surgically removed, like they've actually harvested things from the body?
It looks like originally that they were surgically removed, but as you examine them, you realise that they've all had their arms ripped off from the shoulders, and on the wall it says in big blood letters, "Elbows off the table."
Oh, God. Oh, this is my favourite monster ever.
This is great.
Kara, don't eat anything.
This is like the ultimate foil to Karen.
It's the anti-Karen.
Well, we shouldn't have elbows on tables anyway.
But
Properly.
Why do I
Like
worry
what?
that we're going to be invited to dinner?
where else am I supposed to put my elbows when I'm enjoying my chicken fried steak?
10 and 3. Or is it 3 and 9? I can't remember.
What?
No, your elbows go out when you're supposed to... never mind.
But we don't have steering wheels.
Okay, any exits from this room?
There is a singular door at the back of the room.
I'm going to knock on the door.
Okay, you knock on the door, there's no response.
I'm going to open the door. Now,
Okay. The door
brave and confident there's nothing behind it.
The door swings open with a slight creak. There are some stairs downwards, and that leads to a small corridor.
Am I getting a catacomby feel?
Yes.
Is that door smashed? Is it
No.
like...
It's a wooden door, and it's just as normal.
So I'm just saying, they said they locked it in the catacombs. They locked her in the catacombs.
Mm-hmm.
But this door is open and fine. So has someone let her out? Or I guess we need to explore a little bit more.
I mean, I don't think it's good etiquette to be breaking out of things, so... But I would not really know.
It's certainly bad etiquette to break into things.
Well, when we find her, you can ask her.
But, Tubbs, what if there's something in a building and I want it? Is it okay to go in there?
It depends if you've bought it or not, I think.
No, I just want it.
Okay, we'll discuss it later. Maybe don't bring it up with her ladyship.
So, are you descending down the stairs?
Are we descending down the stairs?
Yeah, we might as well just follow down.
Okay.
Let's descend down the stairs.
As you get to the bottom of the stairs, you notice several pools of blood on the walls, on the floor, on the ceiling, everywhere, and written on the floor is "Never run, walk."
Okay, so no running.
But what if I have a pair of scissors?
Okay, what's the corridor? What's the
There
door
is a
situation?
door on your left and a door on your right. And then there's the corridor, continues on, and then there's another door on your left, and then some more stairs down.
Shall we have a look around these rooms?
Yes, but let's follow all these instructions that we've been getting. So
I don't get how people live by all of these rules.
I mean,
called
it's
class,
literally
Karen.
Like what if I want to get somewhere quick? What if old Grandpapa's fallen in the lake and has already dropped in the dynamite? Someone is fishing like I think I
okay
should
to run
be.
then.
Then you just walk briskly. You don't run.
I don't know, I think that demands a certain amount of urgency.
I know, but just for the sake of this crazy bitch, can we just go with it for now?
Okay.
I mean, I will try.
So, are you opening the door on the left or the right first?
to the left.
Okay.
Yeah, go left.
As you open the door on the left, you immediately smell like death. And as you open it, it's full of bodies. It's full of
Sick.
body of null folk, like stacked incredibly neatly. And on the wall, written in blood, is "Children should neither be seen nor heard."
Oh god.
This does not bode well for me.
We just need to make sure she knows that you're just short. You're not a child.
Well, considering I haven't seen Tyler in a while, I suppose that one I'm doing alright with.
Can everyone roll me a d20, please?
Oh god.
I don't like the sound of that.
No, because this is going to be a who rolled the lowest, and it'll be me. Ah,
Oh no, Rosie.
Me!
You hear the sound of something moving, and you see a gnoll pulling himself out of the body pile, and you recognise him as one of the gnolls that met you at the gate.
Howdy, you alright there?
He
Yeah,
looks
we're
at
gonna
you
run
incredibly
over.
panicked.
I mean, he's not in a neat stack anymore.
I feel like we should drag him out. I feel like we should
Yeah.
drag him out of the pile.
Yeah, let's drag him out
Okay.
and check him over for injuries.
I want to keep an eye behind us as we do this in case anything comes.
Yeah, good plan.
Yeah.
Are you opening the other door?
No, not until we're done in here.
Yeah.
I think.
Not until we
Okay.
chat to her.
He
Just sort of
seems
keeping an eye.
he seems to have been significantly wounded, but he's okay.
Is there anything we can do for him right now, or?
Not really. He seems to be stable, but he's basically been smacked hard enough that and unconscious that she thought he was dead.
Okay.
Just dragged him to the neat pile.
Do you want a cigarette there, little guy?
Go
He-
in some water.
His shaking
If he's-
hands take a cigarette off you and quickly smoke it.
No,
Right,
I
what
think.
happened?
Together?
Yeah, you can't talk, can you?
No, he can't talk.
But he can apparently smoke inside.
Can he shake his head? That's a good point. Smoking inside is illegal now, isn't it?
He looks at you as if you've just sort of said it's bad etiquette, and he starts panicking.
It's perfectly alright in private land. It's just pubs and restaurants.
Okay.
Don't worry about it for now.
Mr. Noel, you can understand what we're saying, right? Just nod or shake your head.
He nods his head.
Okay, I'm assuming that the lady that the abbot here was making did all of this.
He again nods his head.
And is she above this floor or below this floor?
He sort of shrugs. He doesn't know. He was unconscious when he was dragged here.
Okay. Is the abbot dead?
He very much nods his head.
Did he die a long time ago?
He shakes his head.
Like a day?
He sort of looks at you as in he's not sure how long ago, because he doesn't know.
But you've seen his body,
He nods his head.
and he's very dead.
Again, nodding.
So probably won't need this dress anymore.
Does he want the dress, do you think?
Does she want the dress?
That Abbott is dead. He won't be needing any of his valuables, will he?
Maybe Monster Wife wants the dress.
I mean, here's a question. So the abbot's been dead for a couple of days.
Well, less than a day, maybe.
Like, he's been dead since before we arrived, right?
He sort of shrugs and he's not sure.
Okay, so that's why you went in, because you thought he might still be alive.
Again, he nods.
Okay. So all the Null's dead, relatively recently. The lady did it. Can she talk?
He shakes his head and points to his throat.
So she can't talk, but she can understand stuff like you, right?
He sort of looks like he's not sure how to answer that one. Then he does a sort of moves his finger in a rotational circle next to his head.
Oh,
she's a bit crazy. She's crazy.
She's not altogether there.
She's a few fries short of a Happy Meal.
Okay, are you seeking new employment currently?
The Gnoll sort of frantically nods.
We need someone to pull a cart.
I mean, we could use a security guard. Are you happy to,
Horse.
We could use a butler. He could be our butler.
are you happy to
Could
wait
give him the
here?
butler outfit.
Are you happy to wait here while we go and work out what's going on, and we'll get you on the way back?
He shakes his head and as if to sort of like say, "No, I'm coming with you. I'm not waiting here."
I mean, we're going to find her. Sure you want to come?
Yeah.
He sort of shakes his head as in like, "That's a bad idea," and starts pulling you towards the other end of the corridor.
Well, Laurie, dude, we're the heroes.
We can't die.
Yeah.
Oh,
Who will listen to us?
So what are you doing
I
now?
mean, I'll be honest, guys. I think we should bug out.
he's quite small, right?
He's about the same size as Tubbs.
So, the reason insects don't die when they fall out of trees is because they're small and they have a lower terminal velocity.
We're not throwing him out a window.
What if we aim for a,
not.
what if we aim for a bush?
No.
You are currently 0 and 1 for that shot.
No.
I really want to
What?
call this episode "What If We Aim for a Bush," but it just ruins so much.
I want to look at this door that he keeps pointing at.
Okay, there's
Well,
a
it's the way
door
out,
on
isn't
the right, and there's further down the corridor, and there's another door on the left at the end of the corridor.
And which one is he pointing at?
He's
Pointing
trying to pull
then?
you down the corridor at the moment.
So, as in the way out.
Well, it's not the way
Okay.
you've came, put it that way.
Okay.
Okay.
There's a different way
It's
out.
further into the building.
Yeah.
It's like a longer. Okay.
Maybe it's like a back entrance.
Yeah.
Guess we can ask him. Is that the way out?
He sort of nods. He sort of tries to do a sort of gesture where he points up and then does a sort of shaking hand motion as if to say up, no.
We can't get up. The further up.
At this point, you hear a clang from 2 floors up.
Oh,
We did close all the doors behind us, didn't we?
We haven't been, no.
Just Oz did one. The bedroom.
Yeah, Oz did one.
I suspect we might want to ambulate very quickly away because we have been letting the cold in.
They're
Yeah.
wrong.
Shall we go where he suggests then?
Yeah, let's let Noel lead us.
Tubbs, what good would dancing do us?
Are you ignoring the door on the right?
Let's have a quick look in there.
You open the door on the right. Inside is it's like a small table, like a guard room. Something has obviously been smashed through the table, and there's like a shattered bowl lies like in pieces on the floor. And on the wall it says napkin, napkin, napkin.
By
God.
the way, in the room with the noble, is there any weapons? 'Cause they were all carrying spears, weren't they?
There is nothing at all.
Okay, I'm gonna ask. Do you keep the weapons back upstairs, or are they this way? To the
He
knoll.
sort of thinks for a minute and then points enthusiastically at the door at the end of the left.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel we need to hot foot it.
Let's go. Let's go to
You
the door
hear
again.
the sound of another door slamming about 1 floor above.
Right,
Okay,
she's coming towards
door
us
on
now.
left.
Move.
Let's go to the door on the left.
Okay, you run to the end of the corridor and you open the door. Inside there is a very tiny armory full of like spears and stuff that are all halfling size.
Let's all grab a spear, I guess. I mean, there's still good stabbing things, right?
I mean, I don't want one of these fancy toothpicks. I got my good old kneecapper here.
Okay, well, I'm gonna grab a spear.
Okay.
Just
Anyone else want a short spear?
They would
So
be
we'll
like
be
daggers
stabbing.
to anyone else.
Is there a bow or anything like that?
There is, but it would literally be like a toy bow.
Oh.
There are a couple
Yeah.
of bags of arrows and stuff if you want them, but again,
I'll
they'd
take
be
the
for very
arrows.
they'd be for
I'm
very
gonna get
small
out.
bows.
Yeah, I'm
Oh.
gonna take a bow and some arrows as well.
Yeah, I'll give you the. I'll give you the quiver.
Are you going down the stairs?
I think we're going wherever the fuck this guy's leading us, and we are ambulating quickly, being careful not to run.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong.
Walking briskly.
I'm not 100% sure, but surely slamming doors behind you is bad etiquette.
I'm not gonna stay around and tell her that.
So you run down the stairs. The stairs are sort of spiral staircase. It goes down about another 2 flights, and ahead of you seems to be. It's like it would be a very grand, magic-looking door. Like it's obviously a door to a library, but it's been like completely kicked in. As in the 2 sides of the door hang splintered off each side, and the like meager remnants of a barricade are lying behind it.
Now,
Think about what
Jesus.
magic books might be in there.
I ain't no expert, but I think that might be in poor etiquette.
Do we need to go through the library, Noel man?
The Null is pulling you frantically through the library. Yes.
Okay.
Let's go. As
The
we go,
library-
can I roll a very, very quick?
The
Go on,
library
Francis, if I can see
itself
him.
is a
Sorry.
complete mess.
Oh,
Everything
okay.
around you is like it's like they've tried to move all the bookcases they could to be barricades, and they've just been splintered out of the way.
Yeah,
I-
we probably don't have time to start checking
Okay.
books out.
Yeah, maybe next time when we get.
plus-
Can I have like the most cut, literally running through, as in like natural
Yep,
20?
sure, do a
but
very quick check.
Have you even brought your library card?
I'm assuming I don't spot anything with it.
You find a quick book and you grab it on the way past. You say you'll read
Cool.
it later. As you get to the end of the library, you notice there is this very large marble statue, which seems to be almost identical to the one that's at the lake outside. But
Is
in the
there-
open arms, you notice the broken and twisted body of the abbot,
Oh dear.
Oh.
who it's as if he's had his head spun right round.
Oh.
I think about imitating the pose, but then I feel like that might be in bad taste.
Does it say, is there a plaque on the statue?
There is a plaque on the statue, yes.
What does it say?
It says Saint Markovia.
Oh, he's the guy we've got a pendant of.
I say we just sort of leave the dress like here, like drape it over the abbot.
Well, I
Closest
mean,
we can get
we
to
could
it.
probably sell it for some money. It's a fine ass dress.
You also notice written in blood on the floor is "Smiles don't show teeth."
Ooh. Let's continue whatever direction I'll take us, being careful not to smile.
You hear the sound of something coming down the stairs at the other end. The knoll takes you to the very back of the room where there seems to be a splintered trapdoor and leads to a set of stairs. You notice like two big padlocks have been like almost ripped in half that seem to have like held the door down.
I'm gonna be like, does this take us down to the catacombs?
The knoll nods profusely.
And there's a way out down there.
He again nods. As
Do you know the
look
way
back-
out?
As you look back into the main room, you notice there is something about, let's say, 8 foot tall. It looks very, like, flesh golemy. It's obviously female, but it looks basically like a sort of Hulk. It's wearing no clothing at all and is just this mangled, stitched mess of flesh that just seems to walk, and every so often you hear this
My
as it
God.
seems to breathe
Oh
out.
God.
I feel like they took it too far when stitching together this.
It's not right.
Does
Yeah.
it look like
Has she
people?
seen us?
Or just
No.
the Hulk?
She's currently like looking around as in like something has caused a break in her etiquette this direction, so she's following you, but she doesn't know where you are.
You can sense cat.
Yeah. Seeing enough of the dress. Everyone get into position.
Happy birthday to Surprise!
Surprise!
But don't smile with your teeth.
Look.
Are we going down into the catacombs? Catacombs
Before
or
after we've yelled surprise.
You yell surprise, and it looks at you and then starts walking incredibly eloquently, like it has a book balanced on its head.
good
That
day?
went well.
Good day, my lady. How? We
It
hope you're
looks
well.
incredibly angry, but is walking very neatly towards you.
I think we should leave very quickly, everybody. So let's just back up a bit.
But we need to leave not so quickly that we're running.
Yeah.
Leave the dress for her.
I'll be honest. I think we've pissed her off enough as it is.
Why don't we just leave this dress over here? You can have a look at it, and if you have any questions, you can find us later.
Yeah, we was just sent to deliver this dress to the good abbot over there.
And it is bad etiquette to kill someone in your own house, I think.
Well,
Tabs.
the abbot seems somewhat indisposed lately.
Yeah, so we're just gonna leave it here and go.
So you're leaving the dress and continuing on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good
Can I
day.
do
So
like
as you run down the catacombs, you
Yep, walk
or,
fast, we
sorry,
can run.
As you
Yeah.
amble quickly down to the catacombs, you find another couple of blood patches and you see ankles crossed, not knees written on the wall. You get to the end of the corridor and you notice your small knoll friend frantically like digging sort of lots of barrels and some stuff that have been all crapped up in the corner, and he seems to be like frantically throwing them out of the way. What do you do?
is one of them full of like salted meat?
No, they also be full of like
Oh.
rice and dried stuff.
Okay. I thought it was like good look around.
I'm assuming there's a way out behind the barrel, so I might just like help him.
Move the barrels.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe if we spill the rice, she'll have to count it, or is that vampires?
That's vampires.
Oh, I'm gonna pocket some of that.
Also, sock. Apparently, they need to match socks. So, like, bury a vampire and you put like one sock in the casket with it, and then it's too obsessed with the one sock and it can't get out.
So it only has one
But
sock
three
on one
socks, they
foot.
should all be different.
I'm not sure if that's true or if it was just a Terry Pratchett joke.
They're all big
Terry
pictures, Terry
Pratchett
Pratchett. It sounds like something Pratchett would come up with.
Right, let's
So,
help him move these barrels.
You dig all this stuff out of the way, and behind is this very small grate that seems really easy for Tubbs and this knoll to get through, but slightly more of a squeeze from everyone else.
Great.
I do not
Are
know
we-
what you mean. I am in great shape and very slim.
So we're still able to fit through it,
You
but
can
it's going
fit
to take
through
a
it,
little
it's
bit.
just a little bit more of a squeeze for the rest of you.
Tell you what, I'll go ahead with my light staff, and then you'll see where you're crawling. So I'll go first.
Okay,
Very
so
brave of
you
Of course
pull
you will.
yourself through this small, like, crawl space, and eventually you come to a ladder leading up to the surface.
Is everyone else with me?
Everyone else crawls through in time, yes.
Okay.
Can I
Let's,
remove the ladder so she can get up this way?
Well,
I'm
she can't
imagining-
fit through the gap after you, because she's quite big.
That's, okay.
She's like a She-Hulk, so...
You just
I
hear a
see.
sort of
Right. Okay. When you
coming
say
from
the
the gap
She-Hulk,
behind you.
when you say She-Hulk, do you mean She-Hulk or like a Hulk but a girl?
A Hulk that's a girl. Because She-Hulk is a completely different, like, character.
Yeah, that's why I
Yeah, in
was
the Marvel
confused.
Universe, yeah. No, she's like a Hulk that is a girl.
cool.
Yeah.
Let's go up the ladder.
So you climb the ladder, and as you get to the top and shunt open the door, you find that you have come out in the graveyard surrounding the Abbey. And as you look around, you realise that there is a circle of scarecrows all the way around you.
So this is where he done got those bodies and how he got them into the Abbey.
Why is there a bunch of scarecrows?
Maybe,
Yeah, are they?
maybe the queen lady, the homunculus,
Are they
is
just like
scared of
scare?
scarecrows.
Bodies.
No, guy. Do you know why there's scarecrows here?
He sort of just shrugs, as in he's just like, there just is. It's the sort of like how they recognise where the hell the tunnel was.
So is this where you brought all the bodies down?
He looks at you confused and goes up to say, no.
Oh, you took the... Wait, what? Who brought the bodies in to make that thing?
He sort
Was
of
it you?
looks and points at himself,
Oh, okay.
and then he sort of points at the main door.
So we've established that you want a job, is that correct?
He nods.
Would you like to work for CSI Barovia?
He nods as well.
There will be a formal probation period, of course. But we think you might be made of the right stuff.
Does anyone want to look at these scarecrows?
Yeah, I'll have a perception check. On
Okay,
this.
Yeah,
roll a
let's have a
perception check on the scarecrow.
I'm busy interrogating a knoll.
Oh god, no.
Okay. Ozmand notices one of the scarecrows is very obviously more of a wicker man than a scarecrow.
Well, that's not disturbing at all.
Doesn't that mean you gotta burn them?
Well, you burn somebody inside of it, yes.
Is there obviously someone inside it? Or
Are you
is it
wanting
just
to examine
actual
it?
wicker man?
Yeah, let's have a look
Yeah.
inside.
Okay, roll to examine it. Basically, Ozmand walks up and kicks the wicker man, which disintegrates into a pile of old dried grass. And as you do that, you find, hidden amongst the grass, is a very old, very blackened sword.
Yoink, I guess.
The sword has a sun on the handle. It has the feeling of a magic item that's long since lost its magic.
Okay.
I'll be honest, they totally dig desecrating sun gods here, don't they?
Yeah, because I'm just about to say that there's that sung stuff in the house. that we
Yeah.
went to.
And also, in the church in the last time Valaki,
Yeah,
there
that's
was
one.
someone really doesn't like this sun god.
Well, yeah,
Maybe
but I bet
there's-
this will probably still sharpen up nicely.
Maybe there's a bit of a night owl around. A night
We
owl.
should probably head back into town and warn our
The Baron guy.
friend
Okay.
that he's got a crazy rampaging monster who's obsessed with etiquette.
You head back into town with your new Knoll friend.
I feel like we should give this knoll a name. You got a name?
Edmonds.
Edmonds. Well, this has been bothering me, Edmund. You don't know my grandpapa, do you?
He does a sort of whiskey motif with his hand.
I feel like I should get that, but I don't.
It was a previous thing I mentioned. You did a talk about your grandpappy, and I did my grandpappy was the most foul-tempered motherfucker I ever met, but he made the best whiskey.
I see. I must have that bit for some reason.
Hey, no friend.
Yeah, that sounds like my grandpapa.
Do you have a name?
He sort of just shrugs.
Well, seeing as you were friends with my grandpapa all his name, I think we should name him after you. Or you after him.
What was your grandpappy's name?
He was called Kyle.
Kyle Lebowski.
Carl.
Would you like to be called Kyle? Kyle?
He doesn't like Kyle.
This is like Kyle. Did you like Edmund? Did you like
Kinda happy
Edmund?
with Edmund.
You liked Edmund more. Okay.
Kyle was the first name that came into mind. It's not a good name, I'll admit. I'm sorry anybody out there who's called Kyle.
So we head back into town with a new blackened sword and an old Edmund.
Yes.
And that's
So, you arrive back into town, the Baron looks at you sort of like, you left the dress, didn't you?
Yeah, we left the
Yeah.
dress with you.
Okay.
He was a bit indisposed, but he got the dress.
100%
said,
successful trip.
He said, to the dress.
Okay.
That's
the,
my
Baron,
opinion, yes.
the Baron sort of looks at you and says, so you gave him the dress?
Yeah, the dress is with the abbot.
That's a good point. When's the last time you saw the Abbot, Baron?
The last time I saw him was 3 weeks ago.
And
That's
was he
okay.
well?
He was in relative health for a young man of his nature.
Well, we left the dress.
Wait. You say
with
young
the-
man?
Yes.
See, it's interesting you should say young man.
And
When did he
he
come?
looked about 30-ish.
So you've been married for 30 years, correct?
I've been married for 30 years, yes.
And how long have you been in this town?
About 50.
And how long has he been the abbot of that there monastery?
Well, as long as I know, but
So
I
he's
always assumed that
30.
he had a family up there that he was just
So
withdrawing.
so he's 30, but he's been there for at least 50 years. Is that what you're saying?
He looks at you like sort of the pieces that just came together. He's not sure what to think.
Basically, we have this diary, and I'm going to pull out a diary which we swiped. It looks like he's been there for about 100 years.
Yeah, and before you judge us for taking a man's diary, remember you sent us to steal a dress.
Also, he is dead,
Yeah.
and this has some evidence about a big threat in the monastery that you might want to
We
take a peek
did-
at.
We did leave the dress with his corpse, though.
He looks at you and says, corpse?
He was...
Yeah.
His
Sorry.
neck was like the wrong way round,
Yeah, he was facing the wrong way.
but only like the top half. The rest was facing the other way.
It's wrecked.
He sort of looks at you very confused. He's like, I don't know what the fuck to say to that.
Basically, he's dead, all of his gnolls are dead, and he's made some weird kind of flesh golem type monster that's currently rampaging around his castle on a rampage of fury and etiquette.
Yeah, you might want to burn that place to the ground.
Yeah, and the flesh golem is nigh unkillable, so,
Good luck.
yeah.
Just make sure to dot your I's and cross your T's.
Yeah, she's a bit obsessed with etiquette. Elbows and such, and...
He looks
You get
quite
any
alarmed
reward?
again and then goes, okay. He's not really sure what to think, but he does look and say, oh, by the way, I didn't know your friend was a mage.
Which friend is that?
And he points behind you, and as you look over, Shania is walking across the water towards the sun.
Oh dear.
Oh, crap.
Well, that certainly is something.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie, she's not. And she's been weirdly obsessed with that statue, and I feel like it's doing something bad to her.
Can everyone roll me a d20, please?
Nah, that is actually quite impressive.
Yeah.
Girl got skills.
I rolled the highest, apart from Karen, never mind.
You notice a hand come through the water. You notice Shania bend down, take the hand, and gets pulled through the water.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh.
I knew there was something
Oh.
dodgy in that lake.
The
Well,
water
that's
is
not our
completely
problem
still,
anymore.
it's not even rippling.
I think our friend is now dead.
Let's be honest, did we even know Shania that well?
Really nice test either.
What's the dealio with that statue, Baron? Has
He-
anyone else gone missing?
He sort of blinks at what he's just seen and says, I don't know, that's just St. Markovia. And
Yeah, so...
you
there's
hear
a
the
statue-
sound of thunder suddenly engulf the entire town.
Uh-oh.
I'm not dressed for the rain. We should probably get back to the
Why
wagon.
don't we take some shelter in your house, Baron, while this all blows over?
He invites you in as the rain begins to fall, and literally there's one of the worst thunder and lightning storms you've ever heard outside.
When I was a little girl, my daddy, he told me that thunder was when the gods was playing billiards.
Dad used to say pushing his furniture around.
Maybe he was moving a billiards table around.
Yeah.
I've decided I'm going to build a kitchen.
A kitchen?
One piece of cutlery at a time.
I'm just going to look menacingly at the lake, so that it ends on just like the camera pulling away from Tubbs' eye vision into the lake, and then just like stopping as it plunges into the surface. What book did Tubbs find?
Tubbs found a very simple magic book that
Sweet.
allows him to conjure a magical mirror.
I'm going to try the spell out.
He can basically conjure a hand mirror for 30 seconds and then it disappears again.
I am going to gesture very pointedly in such a way that indicates that my tobacco pouch is not quite full towards the Baron.
The Baron tells you that smoking has been outlawed in Krezk.
Oh.
The bell tolls. The end is nigh. For this week, at least. Join us again next week for more of our tale. This podcast is an adaptation of Curse of Strahd, a 5th edition D&D adventure. It was adapted from the original story by Nikoli Popsky. The podcast features Nikoli, Amy, Belry, AJ, Lexa, and Matt. All music was written and performed by Boström. Artwork was by John Moore.
Moving on from all
This
of that.
episode sponsored by the Safe Sex Committee.
Why do I feel like this is all going to be
Always
consented
use
to?
protection.
What happened last
All
week?
this is getting cut out, don't worry about it.
Oh, in that case, cunts.
Cunts. So,
Don't be silly. Wrap your willy.
I might leave that one in.
With like
There's
no
no context
context
at all.
whatsoever.
Yep, just have the words, this week sponsored by, and then just cut that.
Fine. Speaking of people being dead, I just got a news alert, and I think we should have a moment of silence because Dale Winton has died at age 62.
Oh,
Oh
I thought he was already dead.
This year's been really strange for people who have died.
They were going to bring back
supermarket sweep again.
They were going to bring back supermarket sweep, weren't they?
Yeah, not anymore.
Now we'll do supermarket sweep.
They might still bring it back, they just won't have Dale with it.
It wouldn't be supermarket sweep without Dale Winton. Ah, you've missed a tale, Rosie.
be glad in some aspect.
The abbot came out, we resolved everything. Dale Winton died.
I just want to
Sad thing
clarify
is
that
you've got to
Dale
say
Winton
no
is
actual Dale
actually
Winton
dead.
is dead.
Brutally gunned down by an overzealous supermarket
Why
security.
are we laughing?
Because
a
he
man
was-
died.
He was a
caught robbing
television-
Tesco's.
He was a television personality who lived for comedy and laughing.
But do you know that the Dale Winton Wikipedia has already updated that he's died?
That's quite quick.
On it.
That's quite quick.
You guys were joking about a character that had died. Dale Winton is actually dead.
I know, yes.
Also, she says she went to the toilet, but she left. Dale Winton died, and then she came back.
Was Dale Winton in your
Look, my
toilet? You killed him.
Rosie, do you want to tell us something?
Rub off the spray tan off my hands, like, no.